Of all things FSU, Pistols and Pie starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
The Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV begins right now. Good to be with you as always. There's Ira and Corey on the other side of the glass. I'm Jeff, and you guys are you guys, and you're here with us, and we appreciate that very, very much. We'll begin by saying, hey, by the way, I saw Ben over at Capital City Country Club. He had just finished a round of golf.
Nice.
And I asked him where his prodigy son was. Apparently, he was the one who was going to beat Corey in golf. But he wasn't out there. But it was good to see Ben. Ben, good to see you. And yay, sausage. Register sausage indeed. So there you go.
Ben the sausage guy.
He is.
Got some breaking news from the Register Sausage family this week.
Okay.
Well, not really breaking news, but just kind of an update on the constant saga, the battle we're fighting with grocery stores across the Southeast, of course, across the country.
We're winning, too. Slowly but surely, we're winning the battle.
Apparently, the one of the grocery stores in St. Augustine.
Oh, that's one of my favorite cities.
Had to reach out to registers this past week and say, hey, we're tired of getting yelled at. Our meat managers tired of getting harassed by these headliners.
Let's get with these. Yeah.
So he asked for a shipment because
old doggy coming through. Yeah. There you go, St. Augustine. I like it. Oldest city on earth, right? Isn't that what they say?
And apparently last to get registered.
Planet Earth, yes.
On the planet Earth. That is what they say.
No, it's a wonderful place, but they want their sausage.
Yeah, man, the headliners have spoken.
Yeah, well, there are several headliners in St. Augustine because they heard me mention that I like St. Augustine. And I got a lot of messages like, we're over here listening, man.
And it's right next to Jacksonville, which you also love.
You love Jacksonville.
I don't like Jacksonville proper. Jacksonville Beach is just fine. Like the beach, very much so.
But now you have another reason to like St. Augustine.
I've always liked it. I'll be over there real soon. There's a couple concerts this summer I'm going to be attending.
Nice. Yeah. Well, you can get some registers on the way, Jeff. Register sausage.
Or when you get there, apparently.
I have register sausage at the house. I don't have to go to St. Augustine to get it. But if I wanted to, I now could.
Yes. And if you live in an area that does not have the delicious register sausage, the jalapeno cheddar, the andouille, I think we should make it like a French.
Andouille.
Oh, like that, yeah. But you have to say it that way when you order it. If we're ever together and you're getting that, I want you to order it that way. Yeah, say it like that so they can look at you.
Or when you're talking to the meat manager. And or you can go online, registermeats.com. They will deliver it to you. Comes in a cooler, ice-packed, fresh, delicious. Registermeats.com.
Delicious as it is and demanded from the meat man there at your local grocery store. All right, so they had a scrimmage. Now they have a practice today. Well, we think, right? That's not going to get canceled if there's inclement
weather. Hey, man, they got an indoor facility.
They do, and it's a full 100 yards.
Yep.
It's awesome.
That's right.
It's the whole one. Yeah, they can go in there. So they'll keep on keeping on. I don't know.
I think on Miami week, maybe they should just block off the last 40 yards and just say, we're just trying to have a fair fight.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We think this is unfair to Miami.
Or they should only practice in the indoor practice facility, letting Miami know. We could if we wanted to. Just practice here every day. We've got it right here at our disposal. Yeah, so, the main thing, I'll knock on wood here, I say it every time when we're in spring football, whether it's a bad team, but it's especially true when it's a good team, because I'm selfish that way, and I want them to stay good, more enjoyable. Nobody get hurt. Nothing crazy. Everybody hang in there. Sounds like they got through scrimmage number 1 without any major injuries. Knock on wood. That's first and foremost always. And then the only other news, and we'll circle back and talk a little bit more about the scrimmage. Derrick McLendon is decided to enter his name into the transfer portal. I don't think anybody's stunned. People have been asking about him for over a week. That'll happen when, there's footage of people practicing and he's not amongst those people. People can pick up on that pretty quickly. And people have been asking me for a while about it. And all I've had to say about that is, listen, this staff has done a real good job of when a guy's gone and he's off that roster quickly. Just monitor the damn roster. That'll tell you who's still there and who's not. His name no longer on the roster. He's in the transfer portal. I do want to say this. That's not great news. He's not a huge difference maker. He's not a change the game kind of player. He is part of the 4-man rotation with the defensive ends. He would have played a lot of snaps, and they become a little less than what they were. That's all I'll say about that, is that he will – that hurts a little bit. Not a lot, not enough to lose sleep, but it's not great news.
It's one of those tough situations, though, where, like, a player probably values themselves at a different level than the program values you.
Yes.
Clearly.
And, we've talked to Derrick a lot over the last 4 years. Likable guy, like him, Atlanta guy. So you always rooted for him. But Derrick McLendon thinks Derrick McLendon is one of the top defensive ends in the country. He has said that numerous times.
Yes.
I think he might think he's the best defensive end in the country.
Despite a lot of evidence to the contrary.
The numbers don't bear that out.
Right.
You're not even the second best defensive end on your team, but okay.
But if you have that belief, which is good, man, everybody
should have that belief. Yeah.
But if you have that belief,
I believe I'm the best host on this show.
I mean, that's something that,
there's no evidence. There's no evidence to that end, but he can believe it. And we want him to believe it.
Gets me up in the morning.
Yeah.
If you believe that, that's fine. But like, it could hurt your feelings if the team is not acting in a way that makes you feel like that's what you are.
Yeah.
And, they're going out and getting a defensive end from South Carolina who comes in and looks really good. And
he's the exact height and weight as you are and the same year you are.
And so, yeah, man. And Jarrett Verse is Jarrett Verse, and Patrick Payton's becoming Patrick Payton. So, it's one of those things. It would be nice if he would have said, I'm with you. I think they'd be better off.
They're better with him.
And people will bring up the numbers. Yeah, they have to lose a few players to get under 85.
Not at that position.
That's not the one you'd pick.
No, and they're already going to lose some guys just by virtue of the math, right? They have too many running backs, too many offensive linemen, you could argue. It seems like it stands to reason a guy here or a guy there from those two units are going to be gone at the end of this spring. I'm not sitting here telling you which ones, but there seem to be some obvious candidates. They didn't want to lose a defensive end. Again, it's not the end of the world. You wish the young man the best. You're right, Ira. He valued himself a little bit more than the team certainly did. And at the end of the day, I think that's the other part of NIL. If a guy comes in and he gets money to come in and you don't feel like you're paid to what you think you're worth, well, that tends to get into your feelings a little bit. I think that's another example of it.
Well, but the good news is if they do think there's a deficiency at that position, and they very well might, because depth is now, to me, a concern. Derrick McLendon, like Jeff said, was not a game changer, but he was an experienced college football player that could play. He was a solid-ish defensive end. I'm not diminishing what he meant to this team. You can go find a Derrick McLendon in the portal if you need to. They're not the actual one, but there's other guys that are.
Although you could, if you're on another program, you could find Derrick
McLendon.
Correct.
He is in there right now.
He's right there. Yeah.
But you could go find his equal, or maybe someone a little better come the middle of April, right? Like, that is a possibility. That is the new world of college football. So I think when people hear this news, they're like, oh, well, that's kind of a bummer, but ... there might be somebody better in the portal that now there's an opening for them to want to come to Florida State because there's a spot in the 4-man rotation.
It is a nice thing that Patrick Payton is developing his all-around game, because we knew Patrick Payton was a really good pass rusher. He showed that last fall. The fact that Derrick McLendon has played a lot of football and is a grown man, has been in the system for 4 years. He's a guy that can play the run and the pass. And so now Patrick Payton taking his game to that level where you don't have to take him off the field. He can set the edge. That's a big deal.
Yeah, he's going to have to get better and better at it. It appears that he is. We'll see how he does in games at that role. Somebody else can step up in that room as well. So let's see what they do there. I know they've been kind of experimenting with some different guys, so we'll see. You're not better without Derrick McLendon. It's not the end of the world that he left.
But you might end up by August, depending on if you do anything in the portal, your defensive end position might be better.
Maybe
than it is right now, but that's assuming they're even going to go get someone.
Yeah,
which that is an assumption.
Yeah, and you never know, and that is the beauty, is that you have an opportunity at the end of spring to reevaluate and kind of decide, all right, what do we think we have, what don't we have? The bottom line is this, though, and post scrimmage, I think this becomes apparent as well. This is by far and away the best Florida State's rosters looked in 8 years, and it's been a minute. They've got guys for days. When you can hold starters out across the board at key positions and still see the productivity and the talent into which you can field a first string, a second string, and a third string, even without those starters out there, and it's competitive still because you have depth on the offensive line, because you have depth on the defensive line, because you have depth at wide receiver and running back, on and on we go. I mean, that's Florida State's in a really good position. And when you're in a really good position and competition runs hot, some guys are going to get their feelings hurt. I think at the end of spring, some more feelings will be hurt. I'm not going to be surprised if 4 or 5 guys are gone at the end of the spring. It's not the end of the world. It's what happens when you have elite competition and better players on your roster.
I think this one's kind of similar to Trayshawn Ward. I mean, an
opportunity to go play somewhere else.
Yeah, and you'd like Trayshawn Ward on this team. Nobody wanted to see Trayshawn Ward go. I think you'd like to see Derrick McLendon on this team. But in both cases, it's kind of like, yeah, I understand. Like, everybody understands.
Yeah,
like,
I understood why Malik McLean left.
Right.
I got it.
I agree. That one's still
but
younger. You feel like, But no, I'm you wouldn't be mad at him.
No, I didn't like it as a fan. It upset me because I think his upside is very good. But, I mean, he may very well at Penn State have a much greater opportunity to catch more passes than he would here. I think that's probably true.
He just has to live in Pennsylvania. No offense, all our fine listeners from Pennsylvania.
Well, that particular part of Pennsylvania.
I did mean offense to that part.
Yeah, the sticks.
Yeah, the sticks.
That's a lot different. He's not living in Pittsburgh. He's living in the sticks.
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. One lane road going in and out, right?
Correct.
Neither of you guys have ever been there?
I've been there once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never saw a game there.
So did your dad never, I know he was a huge college football fan. You guys went to a lot of FSU games in cool environments, but did he ever say, I want to go to Michigan, Penn State?
The only time we did that was 96 when Tennessee played Florida at Tennessee. He wanted to go see that game. I think it was it was Peyton Manning versus that awesome Florida team. And Florida got up 35-0, and the place was not all that
wasn't rocking.
Yeah, wasn't. Now Tennessee made it like 35-29 was the final, but it was so over so early that you didn't get the full effects of Neyland Stadium. But he always wanted to see a game there, so we did that.
Neyland's a lot of fun, and I get it when you ask the big picture question of college football. It's like every year when Florida State's schedule comes out, I look for the bye week or where they're on the road against somebody soft that I don't care about. I'm like, is there a chance? Is there an opportunity that there's another game that aligns? That is perfectly suited for that weekend to go on down, because I would like to watch Auburn, Alabama play. I'd like to do all of it.
Or just take another trip to Miami just for the fun of it.
I don't want to take just another.
Why would anybody do that?
This guy would do it.
Well, yeah.
I'm not. Wait. So listen, at the end of the day, Florida State got out of that scrimmage healthy, and the backup quarterbacks played a lot. This intrigues me. I think this is a topic worth kind of vetting over time here.
Norvell, by the way, talked about it last night at the booster thing about why he held Travis out. He's like, I zero reservations about it. He's proven through 5 practices.
Yeah, I think we know he can play
at an elite level.
Yeah, we're not worried about him. And also, I think there's a legitimate competition for those other 3 guys. I think it's going to be interesting. I think even the freshman has turned heads to the point where they're like, all right, let's see how this plays out. I mean, it's in their best interest to figure out what role those 3 guys play on this football team.
Well, I think most FSU fans would be fine with like Jordan Travis just being put in in a cryogenic chamber for the next 4 months or 5
Bubble wrap, baby.
Just keep him protected. There's several of those players that you probably would put in that line. So I don't think anybody's mad that Jordan didn't play in that scrimmage. As far as the quarterback thing, though, I don't know, man. I'm going to clap back at you guys a little bit on this. I think I've heard both of you say something along the same lines. I think Tate's number 2 without question this fall.
I think the battle is for 3, in my opinion.
That's possible.
I've been really impressed with Glenn. To me, he looks different as a freshman in his first spring.
Correct.
Than Duffy did last year. He looks so much more improved or so much more just competent. And look, man, he's a true freshman quarterback in spring.
We don't think he's going to start or anything.
Right. But just the way he looks compared to the way that Duffy looked last year at this time. And Duffy looks better now. Clearly, he's had a year. But Glenn I feel like there's something there, man. The way he just seems so calm.
He definitely has an air about him that you could see a tour of duty. Like you could just see the way he carries himself as a 18-year-old. We assume he's 18, somewhere in that ballpark. But a kid who should be in high school, the way he walks around, the way he just carries himself. And then it carried over to the practices. You see it there as well. One thing I would say, and Tom and I talked about this a little bit on the Monday smash that was Tuesday morning.
Got moved around
because they had the power outage.
Yeah.
Come on, Tallahassee, get it together.
The one thing I would say there, though, is don't you think the fact that quarterback room is in such a better place now? A year ago, Jordan was still trying to prove he was Jordan. Like people were still questioning Jordan Travis.
Sure.
Tate certainly did not have a lot of gravitas.
For good reason.
So those 2 guys, probably a year ago, I don't know how much time they were spending on bringing along A.J. Duffy. Whereas now you would think maybe that whole room is kind of bringing along Brock Glenn. That's one thing you could say. It's definitely and you had a new quarterback coach last year. I just could see Brock Glenn's in a great situation. I don't know how many quarterbacks come into a college where you've got 3 guys anymore, including 2 that played a lot of one that's, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Another one that's played a lot of college football. I think, Brock Glenn's in a really good position. Doesn't take anything away from him. But I think the battle in 2024 is going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be the real battle, right? It's going to be that's where I think Rodemaker is for sure the number 2 this year, but I do not think that means he's for sure number 1 in 2024. Like that's going to be a real battle. That's going to be a real
I completely agree with that. Yeah. I don't think there's any guarantee that Tate Rodemaker is the starting quarterback at Florida State in the future.
Correct.
I don't
Hey,
think
he's
so.
got to get better and better and better.
He's going to have to get better and better and better. And it's going to be fascinating to watch that play out because I think there is something to Brock. I think they probably hit on him early on. It looks like you probably hit on a guy. And so the battle between he and Duffy, and then the following year, the battle between Duffy, he, and Tate will be huge. And you're bringing in another quarterback who everybody's excited about as well. So that should be fascinating.
Well, I would think one of the three by
somebody
the
will be
spring
gone.
of 24 will be gone.
Yes, without question. You're going to see more of that. And that conversation, it's always dicey to have because you don't want to project that somebody wants to leave. But you're going to have to just look at numbers and start saying, well, if this guy's not taking a big step forward, he's a candidate that they'll process. They'll get him out of here. You got to start looking at guys like that. There are guys within that offensive line group. That's a huge group. I can't believe we're able to say that.
Yeah.
That you have 12 guys fighting for 5 spots, but you have some other guys that aren't part of that 12. They're going to probably take it on down the road.
Yeah, and that's a tough situation, though, because on the one hand, I'm sure there are some players who want to play. Like, they want to go play. They feel like they can play today.
Yeah.
They see a log jam ahead of it. You brought in these transfers. I want to go play. Derrick McLendon's one of those examples. Some other guys might be like, you know what, man? Being a Florida State football player ain't all that bad, and we might win a bunch of games this year, and I'm kind of cool.
Apparently, not that second part about winning a bunch of games, but apparently that's what the whole basketball roster is doing. Hey, it's pretty cool to be a Florida State. I mean, who would have thought that in the late March, the first Florida State athlete in the portal would be a football player, and the basketball team's just hanging out?
Yeah. It's bitterly disappointing. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment.
This is Ken Wondergem, owner of Gem Mazda of Tallahassee, serving North Florida and South Georgia for over 20 years. And I'm happy to announce that things are finally back to normal at Gem Mazda. Our lot is loaded with brand new Mazdas for the first time in 2 years. So if you've been waiting for the price and selection of new cars to return to normal, the wait is over at Gem Mazda, where we've always provided our customers with the highest quality of service and care. You know Mazda's reputation for efficient, dependable, and affordable vehicles, but you simply must experience the luxurious new lineup of 2023 Mazdas in stock now at Gem Mazda of Tallahassee. Get adventurous and connect with nature in a brand new 23 Mazda CX-50 with all-wheel drive. But hurry in while the value of your trade is still high. At Gem Mazda, we take our slogan seriously. No games, no gimmicks, just a gem of a deal. Gem Mazda of Tallahassee, Capitol Circle Northwest, just up from West Tennessee Street, and always open at gemmazda.com.
Trucking accident? Call Facing Brooks Law Offices, 777-7777.
My man, Eddie.
Jeff, what's happening, dude?
Bears eating people all over the place. I read another article today. It's the third one in the last month of somebody getting mauled to death by a bear.
Man, bears have their own space. You got to let them have that.
You do. You got to stay clear of bears, is what you're saying?
Yes.
I got a question for you. Here you go. If you had to be mauled to death, eaten alive by any animal in the world, which would you choose to eat you alive?
Ooh, I think maybe I'd want, I don't know, longevity time, a mouse.
Just a slow burn.
Slow little burn.
This thing just finished the pinky. It's been a month.
I could go to work. I could still do my thing. I could probably live 30 years.
I thought you were going to say great white because it'd be quick, or a grizzly. We went with mouse.
Yeah, mouse.
Okay. Mouse it is. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Tune in every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. for Great Southern Gospel with Bobby and Nita Key, sharing their voices for nearly 20 years, only on Real Talk 93.3.
At Pinch A Penny Pool, Patio, and Spas, it's prime time hot tub season. And after a long, stressful day, there's nothing like soaking in a hot tub with all that steam. And it has lots of great health benefits, too. Pinch A Penny Pool, Patios, and Spas is your true hot tub headquarters. Save today on the hot tub of your dreams at prices you can afford. Come and shop our 12,000 square foot showroom and find the right model for you. With over 50 hot tubs in stock, you're sure to find the one that's just right. And for a limited time, take advantage of a free spa cover with purchase of your new hot tub. That's around a $400 value, completely free with your purchase. If you're ready to relax, we're here to show you how. Pinch A Penny Pool, Patios, and Spas. Come see us at 2473 Greer Road. Pick out your hot tub and enjoy your free cover. You'll be glad you did.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Real talk fact number 44. Banging your head against the wall for 1 hour burns 150 calories. This is Real Talk 93.3, Tallahassee's Real Talk station. Remember, if you don't have anything nice to say it really, really loud. This is Real Talk 93.3.
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
So what do we expect to see today, gentlemen, at practice? What do you think? Take it easy after the scrimmage, or they get back after it? And
They don't do easy at this program,
Right.
Jeff. That's not how they play. By the way, talking about this on Wake Up Warchant and the fact that he scored a touchdown in the scrimmage, I don't know who was on the field that he beat, but is Vandrevius Jacobs a thing?
Yeah,
Like, is he going to play
yes.
this year probably?
Yes.
A lot, you
Yes.
think?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. No, I think so. I mean, I think, you just it's a combination of the fact that
We
what
call
he's
him
doing.
Dre Jacobs. Is that what we're calling him?
All
Dre?
day Dre, baby.
I go with Vandrevius.
I like Van.
Van's good too. VJ.
Yeah, there's a lot of Dre.
But I think a lot of people call him Dre.
I know, but Van,
that's-
there's not a lot of Vans.
But we're
out
not
there.
like everybody
But
else.
I'm just
Jeff.
saying what the man wants to be
Corey
called.
calls people whatever
Yeah,
he wants to
just
call them.
makes
Exactly
up the
right.
names.
I'll make up names.
Yeah. So,
But no, I definitely think he's going to play. And
he's gonna play. He's
I mean,
good.
again, though, it goes to that room and you start asking like, okay, what are the combinations of players you play? Because I mean, Winston Wright was a slot receiver at West Virginia. Micah Pittman, when he comes back, mostly a slot receiver. I think Vandrevius probably early on. I think that's where he might fit, but he obviously can play outside too. We got Johnny Wilson and Kentron Portier, who's having a really good spring. Darian Williamson. So I mean, it's going to be.
So right now, do you think the top four outside receivers are Johnny Wilson, Portier, Darian Williamson, Van Jacobs? And that's right, everyone.
We're going with Van.
It's Van. Is that your top four on the outside? Because I think Winston Wright's a slot guy.
Yeah, Winston is a slot guy.
And Jakai's a slot guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Am I forgetting anyone? I feel like that's right. Like, and Micah's obviously in there, but
Yeah, I mean, I think some people, and some people probably were hoping to hear Hakeem Williams. And he may get there, but I just don't know if he's just not as polished as Vandrevius.
Yeah.
Vandrevius is fun to watch. He has made an instant impact every practice we're at. He makes plays, period. He's further along, more developed than Hakeem is. And that could just be the product of where you come out of high school and what you were asked to do. But he's polished. And so I don't think there's any doubt when you ask the question, is he going to play? He's going to play meaningful reps. I think so. He's good.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting during interviews because, like, I'm not big on talking to these players and using their nicknames because I'm 52 years old.
It would be a weird thing.
But
are you going to say,
You used
all
to
day,
always
Dre,
call
I
him-
was wondering.
You would always call him Jabu, though. You're like, Jabu,
Yeah.
Jabu, quick question.
Yeah.
Quick question,
yeah,
Jabu.
that was me. That was me for sure. I didn't like doing it when I was 25 or 30. I certainly don't want to do it when I'm 50.
I typically don't ever.
So, yeah. So, but it's kind of weird to like use it now, but then I'm in person. I'm not going to, I don't know.
I
So
feel
it's a
like it
weird deal.
depends on the nickname.
And I don't think people know him that well to be like, oh yeah, Dre. And everybody's
But
like, oh, I know who you're talking
I also
about.
don't think you go up to someone and start your first question with Vandrevius. Let me ask you a question. You just ask the question. Hey,
Yeah.
man, that's how you usually start. That's how we
Because
all
they
start.
tell you, we've got Vandrevius right
Yeah.
here. And then you just ask the question.
Man, back in the day, Elliot Feinblum, love you, Elliot. But when he was the baseball SID sometimes, he would bring players out for interviews and not tell us who they were.
You're like, I don't know that kid.
Dude, they all, I mean, baseball players, man, I could never tell.
You're like,
They're
who
all
is-
5'10".
You're
I
like,
mean-
well, they are if they play here. I mean, Jesus Christ, I'm tired of this nonsense.
Florida's got 6'5"
I mean,
giants.
giants everywhere. Thank God we got our rain out because this would have been an ass kicking tonight. I'm tired of this nonsense. Can we develop a pitcher at some point in history?
I looked up, I was telling Jeff yesterday on the JCS show.
Yeah, you were.
Jeff Cameron show. 1 to 3 p.m. still, 93.3.
Still wildly popular, doing well.
I was telling him that I looked up you may have already done this too, but the baseball pitching stats from a year ago, just strikeouts and walks. This year, they're not quite twice as many strikeouts as walks for the pitchers.
Yeah.
Last year was like 3.5 times as many.
Yeah.
That's a little
And
different.
they're 177th in the nation in walks as an offense.
Yeah.
Like they don't walk. They don't strike out much anymore either. But
What's
they don't
weird
walk.
is you have kids on this team hitting 370 that don't walk. So that's strange. Like they're 370 batting average with a 400 on base percentage.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
I
they
think,
don't walk.
yeah, I think two things here. One is
Different
I think
approach.
well, and I think Florida State's pitchers maybe aren't real thrilled about challenging hitters, and I think other teams' pitchers probably aren't real concerned about challenging Florida State's hitters.
That would appear to be,
There's not a lot of guys in that lineup that are going to change the scoreboard. I mean, there's a couple.
Yeah, Tibbs does, and he walks, but there aren't many who do. Yeah,
Tibbs walks because they're afraid to pitch.
They're
to
afraid
him.
to pitch to him, right? I mean, and he's really, really good.
Cue the Taylor Swift graphic. We're talking too much about this.
Well, we got bailed out today, man.
Woeful baseball.
I woke up, saw those clouds. I was like, please tell me those clouds are in Jacksonville. Please tell me those clouds are hanging out in Jacksonville as
Best
well.
rain out ever.
Let's go. We got a Bull Durham rain out on our hands. Turn on the sprinklers over there.
Sorry, can't play.
Yeah, no chance of playing this one. It's frustrating. Very, very frustrating. All right. So we were talking about the football team, and I think everybody would like us to return to talking about the football team because it's not like we can segue to basketball, guys.
No.
So
congrats to Miami.
No.
Okay. Sorry.
No, ever.
It's a Florida show. We're in Florida.
FAU, baby. Let's go. Owls. Let's go.
I
tweeted that or whatever.
Especially now. I mean, we knew that Miami team was good. Clearly, they're in the Final Four, and they could win the thing.
Well, but this is the worst Final Four in history. So
it is, but it's like,
it's
man,
pretty gross.
Is that really not the most inexplicable? It's the most inexplicable Florida State victory, maybe of my lifetime.
25-point lead for Miami at home
in the second
half
against a bad basketball team.
Yeah.
It's not like
whom they've lost 10 out of the last 11.
But like, remember
Miami
when
can't beat Florida State
blew the lead to Carolina up there with Sam Cassell and Charlie Ward? It's a 21-point lead with 10 minutes left.
Yeah, heartbreaking.
Well, that North Carolina team was the national champion.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
They had
9-23.
something to them. They had a little something to them.
The best Miami team in history lost to the worst Florida State team in history after blowing a 25-point lead at home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's been a more inexplicable game all season, including Purdue losing to Fairleigh Dickinson.
The only one nice thing, if they did win the national title, which could happen, man.
There is no nice thing that
the
could
one nice thing is it took a national championship team to break the Bohica. Prevent the Bohica.
Yeah. And barely.
They barely did it. Yeah, if they'd have
barely.
switched it and played at Miami,
they would have had the Platinum Bohica laid upon them. Yeah. Yeah, and as it stands, they're not going to because UConn's going to win it all.
Don't say that. You just jinxed it.
No, UConn's going to win this thing going away.
I hope.
It's almost like the last time UConn won. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy. Anytime UConn is decent at basketball, they just go ahead and win the national championship. And then you don't hear from them for 7 years. So
at least Danny Hurley's a likable guy. You kind of want to root for him.
Remember when Phil Kofer got into it with him? That was awesome because Kofer wasn't playing, but Hurley wouldn't shut up the whole game.
It was a very strange.
And then he barked at Kofer to tell him to shut up, and Kofer just pointed at the scoreboard. It was awesome. It was just the most.
It was awesome.
You could have walked over and beat him half to death.
Well, he could have done that
5'7". I mean, it's ridiculous.
Hurley's like, I'm a scrappy New Jersey guy. It's like, all right, Kofer's going to throw you in a trash can.
Yeah, no, I wish that would have happened. So back to the football.
I did like seeing Gonzaga lose.
I would
have liked to have seen it a week earlier.
Why do we not? Just because they beat Florida State, why do we not like them?
I think we got tired of them being talked about every freaking year.
I think Ira's got something more personal, like Tony Bennett with Mark Few.
I don't. It's just that they do get so much hype when they don't really play anybody.
No, that's
comparatively.
That's the right thing to say. Their league sucks.
And my East Coast bias.
Yeah,
and the fact that they. I mean, look, they're not playing. I mean, their conference. I mean, it's ridiculous. So they're every year they're birthrighted into 25 wins.
Yeah, and it's a great program out of nowhere because if you've ever been out to where they are, it would be hard to recruit.
I was thinking about it the other day when they were getting beat by 30 points. It's like we grew up in a time where nobody had ever heard of Gonzaga. Like literally all through the 80s and 90s until I think they upset Florida in an NCAA tournament back in the late 90s. The only thing they were known for was Stockton's alma mater. That was it. And that was it just I didn't even know how to pronounce it. And now here we are with two whole generations thinking Gonzaga, and they are a blue blood. But we just grow up with Gonzaga being a blue blood. Brady doesn't know any other world but Gonzaga being a powerhouse in basketball.
And it's just the way they're treated, man. Like this is they treat Mark Few like he's making wine out of water. And it's like, dude, they've got NBA players. Like when they beat Florida State.
Well, the fact that they have NBA players is what's
but
remarkable.
That's impressive. But then they act, I don't know. It just feels like there's an act like it's just, and then like Drew Timme after their last win, the sideline reporter said
that was the most
did you see that?
Yes.
she goes, "You're everything that's great
Everything
about
that's
college
right about college
It
basketball.
reminds
the
me of
hell
the
is-
way they used to talk
Yes,
about Tebow.
100%.
When they would talk about Tebow, you'd be like, I'm going to get sick. I'm going to throw up right here.
What
This
is
guy-
that? Where does that come from?
And also,
why is Drew Timme everything that's good about college basketball?
And there's nothing wrong with Drew Timme, but
No,
it's a
but
weird
why
thing
is
to
he-
say.
that was
Yeah, yeah,
bizarre.
yeah.
That was a really bizarre interview. And she didn't, everything that's right about college basketball, just bricked 2 free throws to let UCLA go down and take the lead and didn't even ask him about it. And he had 38 points. He just called him a legend and said he's everything right. Everything that's right about college
So
basketball.
that's with a lot of my hatred for sports teams. It's
Yeah.
usually because of how other people treat them.
And the thing that stinks about that when it happens is like, that's not Timmy's fault that she asked that
No.
question and said what she said. That's absurd.
Same thing you feel like with Tebow,
No,
right?
I don't.
Oh, okay. Tebow, you were like, give Tebow a break. It's not his fault the way he's covered.
He said plenty of dumb things.
Yeah, he did. He did.
On the regular.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
oh, yeah.
Sure.
It got glossed over all the time, but yeah, he did. Okay, so I wasn't allowed. I just want to, on the record, I tried, guys. I was circling us back to football, but somehow
Ira kept going to Gonzaga. He wanted to keep
wrestled it away.
keep
He wrestled
talking
it away,
about Mark
which is
Few.
fine.
I'm
which
done
is
now.
fine. We're going to commercial break now. We'll come back and we'll go to football.
Can we talk more about Van Jacobs when we come back?
I actually don't like it.
You don't like Van?
I do.
Van Jacobs doesn't really work.
It doesn't work.
Van is okay.
Van's fine.
Van Jacobs doesn't really work. It
It
feels like
doesn't-
Van Wilder or something.
Yeah, it doesn't work for some reason.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But Dre, we got to do
You
something.
didn't push back on it, so I knew you knew I was right
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah.
Let's
but-
think about it.
We'll work on it. We'll work
Okay, we'll
on
come
it.
up with something.
Unless you want to call him all day Dre every time you address it.
F that.
Every time I interview him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All day Dre.
I shortened it to all
just
day.
go all day.
Yeah.
All day solid now. You could just go all day.
All day.
It would be very weird for you to do that.
Of course
and we
it
would all be uncomfortable, but I want to see it and film it.
All right, ask Norvell. Hey, man,
Coach,
so all day had
another
another
good
solid
day.
solid practice today, and he'll be like, what are you talking about? And
No,
I have
he
to
would know.
explain
He
him
would
the whole
know it's
thing.
all day.
Oh, yeah, the coaches probably call him all day already.
You just be,
Yeah, that's what you do with freshman receivers.
Just call him all
You
day.
give them nicknames. That's what they did with Fred Rouse at work.
Oh, man, fabulous. What was he,
man.
Fab Five? What was he?
Freddie P. Fat, yeah, he was fat. Yeah,
Yeah.
the fat.
Coach, all day, 4 catches, 70 yards today. Your thoughts on all day? Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Warchant TV continues in a moment.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Scattered thunderstorms likely this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 82. Westerly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Scattered thunderstorms again tonight. Lows dip down to about 53. Cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 73 tomorrow. Mainly cloudy skies expected. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 81.
Gee, honey, I'm not gonna lie. Our front yard is looking sad. Don't you think it's time for some TLJ?
I'm pretty sure you mean TLC, and I don't have time for all that work.
No, I'm talking about some TLJ, like in the radio commercials. Give your yard some TLJ from the Lawn Johns.
For all your lawn care and landscaping needs, give your yard the TLC it deserves with some TLJ. Call the Lawn Johns today for a free quote at 322-2567 or visit thelawnjohns.com.
This is Kyle, service manager from Barano Heating and Air. Schedule an appointment from your mobile device to learn about our service program with guaranteed same-day service, 15% off necessary repairs, and $25 berry bucks to use towards air filters and other products. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license CAC 1816-186.
Discover the taste of Peru at Café de Martín and El Bar, a one-of-a-kind culinary and cocktail concept created by classically trained chef Martín Araujo. Con amor y pasión, with love and passion, Café de Martín is a fine Peruvian dining experience in an approachable, comfortable, cultural-rich space built for creating memories to last a lifetime. Enjoy happy hour daily with a full bar, handcrafted cocktails, beers on draft and bottle, paired with a selection of Peruvian tapas like crispy fried yuca with house-made huancaína sauce, carefully selected charcuterie boards, a selection of fresh ceviches, and so much more. It's Café de Martín and El Bar. Escape to Peru, a country of great culture, beauty, and food right here in the capital city. Café de Martín and El Bar on Capitol Circle Northeast in the Esposito Shopping Center. Open daily for lunch, happy hour, and dinner. Online at cafedemartin.com.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
At least you two are very excited about the opening day that begins on Thursday for Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
A reason to embrace. I embrace it as well. And in fact, it's an opportunity to remind everybody the Jeff Cameron Show will be live at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Thursday, 1 to 3, to embrace the return of opening day, and some hot dogs, apple pie with cheese, Corey.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, let's get after it.
Man, I wish I could be there. I'll be up in Atlanta.
It's really good. Yeah.
That's the thing.
It's
apple
really
pie with cheese. Yeah, I've never partaken in it, but
you'd like it.
What kind of cheese? Like
American.
You can do a slice of American, or you
not
can just have some cheddar.
American.
Yeah, and you can take cheddar and just slice it on there, melt it just a little bit.
Is there anything
Why?
more American?
Why? Like apple pie is
apple pie's pretty good on its own.
fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know why.
That's
what
not
the
like
cheese
cheese
adds
sucks,
to it.
and you put the two together. There you go.
There's nothing more American than apple pie with American cheese on it.
Right.
That's as American as it gets. You
It's
could throw a
just
firecracker in there.
It's delicious. It's delicious.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't get more American than that.
Oh, we
Chili
can-
dog. By the way, I wanted to, because I'm going to talk to you about this real quick, and then we'll get on with sports. But Ira's daughter put on a.
I was there.
I know, I was too.
Yeah.
But nobody
I'm not
knew.
sure I believe that, but
Exactly right. I was thinking about that. So I get there late.
I saw the text. I was like, "Good try, Corey. Good try."
Let me just say. So yes, my daughter wrote a play. She's a student at FSU. They had a student production. It was this weekend. I tweeted about it last week. Everybody was very nice. People are so nice.
Oh, I don't know about that, but yes, they were.
A lot of people are very nice about it.
Mhm.
Anyway, you guys were you were definitely
I was there
kind
with my
enough to
wife.
come. You and Christy
Right
came.
there,
That was awesome.
sitting right
You
behind
saw them
you.
in person.
Yeah. Well,
So-
we greeted them before the play began,
Of course.
and sat with them.
So let me tell. So
I know you were right behind them.
right.
I saw.
Yeah.
So after the play, and Alexa, I had told them that, I told a few friends they may try to come. Tim and Zoe came the night before.
I don't
Awesome.
believe that.
They did. So anyway,
That's where I got all the information about what the play was about.
So after the show, I'm sitting there and I get a text from Corey saying, "Hey," he actually asked, "Did Kai
hook up?
Did Kai and Bella hook up?" Yeah, because you were on the text.
Yeah. I was on the thread.
And so I'm like, "Oh man, Corey really came." And he said he came late but left early because he wasn't feeling well. And I was like,
There's more to that story.
I was like, even if he did come, even if he didn't come, I appreciate Jeff doing Corey a solid by telling Corey what the play was about.
Right.
So
Jeff
he
would
can
never
act
do
like
that. He would tell me the wrong stuff. He'd be like, and then the dinosaurs,
the next thing
ate
you
the
know-
little girl.
Yeah, it's
So-
great.
So I was like, I showed it to Alexa. I was like, Corey was here. And I was like, and then later I was like, I don't know if he was really there, but it was cool that Jeff did that for him.
So I got there late brunch. I got there about 5 minutes late. It started at 2. I was at 2:05.
Well, the parking ain't great there, guys.
It's not great.
challenging.
It's not great. And I had a little trouble finding the place. And then I walk in and the play's going. And it's a smaller auditorium. I was hoping it was a big
More
auditorium
details.
where you could sneak in.
Yeah.
And so it's dark.
Yeah.
I can see that it's
eight
dark.
rows.
I can see it's a small auditorium. And I'm like, man, I'm going to open this door right now in the middle of this dramatic, her reading this letter to Kai. And everybody's going to see me. So I waited outside for like 5 minutes. And I'm like, am I just going to listen to this play standing up outside the door because I don't want to be a distraction? I was waiting for an act break that never came where the lights would go low. So finally, I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to go in. I go in. I watch about 30 to 35 minutes of it. Then my stomach starts making a noise so loud that the
two people in the back
couple in front of me keep looking over. And I'm like, and it's not like a loud play where there's a lot of other music. It is very quiet at times.
Yeah.
And all I can hear is my stomach. And I'm like, this is not good.
I should just go.
I got to go. I really am invested in Kai and Bella. I hope it works out. It's a sad life for my man Kai with the mom.
The alcoholic mom.
That's tough. He's got to work 3 jobs, but I really got to go because I'm going to distract the people on stage.
All right. That sounds like enough detail that I think
Alexa was really touched. She was
well, that's good.
She was like
probably more touched that I was there and didn't even tell anyone and bounced.
No,
probably.
just the fact that you guys came. She was like, the whole Seminole Headlines crew is here.
That's what we do.
Play.
That's what we do.
We're there in support. She did a great job. I thought it was well done, well written, most importantly.
Brady's got a game tomorrow. If you guys want to head up to Atlanta,
I'm not going to make it. I'm
okay.
going to tell you right now, I'm not sneaking in and sneaking out to Atlanta.
Fair enough. Also,
probably because of McDonough.
McDonough's the worst.
What do you want me to do? I can't sneak into Atlanta without having to go through McDonough.
And if we go to watch him play, we're only staying until you get thrown out.
Or just don't even tell me you're there and leave before the game's over. Just to prove a point. So last night I went to the Norvell thing. This is a Corey story. I went to the Seminole Boosters tour.
Yeah.
And I walk in, and there's obviously a huge line for people to greet Mike Norvell. They take a picture, get a picture with him. He can sign stuff.
Was it here last night?
Yeah, it was at Doak.
Okay.
Or whatever, the Dunlap Champions Club. So I want to get that right. I'm always going to get that right. Dunlap. So anyway, while Culhane is introducing the program at 7:00, Norvell comes over to where I'm standing, and I was like, "Hey man, good to see you. I was gonna stand in line to get a picture with you, but the line was too long." And he laughed, and then he turned around and said, "I was going to stand in line with you after I saw those shirtless spring break pics."
How about that?
How about that?
Stephanie's plan worked.
Is he stalking my Twitter page?
Must be.
He probably is. He hasn't slid up into my DMs yet, though.
Well, but he could be in Stephanie's.
Well, see, that's the thing.
I know what didn't happen. I know there's no way Alex Atkins took his phone to the whole staff.
Look at this
guys.
Look at this guy.
that
that's
definitely didn't happen.
Tan. Yeah. That's the spray tan he's got.
Yeah.
I know that didn't happen.
Yeah, it could be that because Stephanie has a thing.
That he could be following her. But I was wondering, like, how there's no way he follows me on Twitter that closely that he would see that. So somebody must have taken it to him as like a joke. And that made me.
I don't think
look
anybody
at this
took it to
idiot.
him.
Oh, all right.
He's on Twitter. He follows us.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wouldn't do that, and he would.
But that was nice. I mean, he did it as a joke, but it made me feel good that old Mike Norvell saw what's going on here. What a life! What a life we all live, gang. Isn't this fun?
Oh my goodness!
You want to talk about sports now?
We have time.
Yeah. We talk more about Dre.
We're just gonna see how long we can keep you away from talking about Florida State.
What
football.
about Dre?
The good news is we've got a series of questions coming up in hour number 2 that are all, I think, primarily about
Corey's body.
I know you would want that, but we've got to answer the other questions about this football team and where we're going.
So
with that.
have y'all ever seen? Yeah, of course you have Norvell in those settings where he's talking to people because there's 500 people there.
You and I went together to Pensacola.
I mean, it's intense. Like I want to add this, okay? Because Ira, you brought it up last time we were talking. I think it was on Seminole Headlines, or maybe it was just when you were on the JCS. I don't remember, but we talk about watching players and coaches grow and programs develop. And the one criticism I've had of Mike has been at times, and he's a young coach. You see it. He's a little immature occasionally. I thought the reaction after the LSU game, first game of the season, was a bit much. It was a bit much for game 1. Like they had just won the national title. His feet are in the air. I think it was because of the way they won. I don't think he would have done that.
Because he was sweating the fact that they were about to choke.
I think
it
if he had just
it would all-time disaster.
If you're coming off of a 20-yard field goal and they won by 10 points, he'd have walked off and shook his
3-6, 5-7, and then lose that game that way on that stage.
That's a career ender almost.
But my point is that
correct.
The reaction was like, okay, that's a bit much. So there have been little moments like that where I'll say, what's going to be interesting is when he takes the next step and matures in a way where he gets used to winning games and is, expecting to do so and all that. Public speaking, we need to dial it down. We need to dial it down a little bit, man. Not everything is a Sunday sermon. Not everything has to be the most intense moment of the evening. It's okay just to, hey, we're going to play over in Ireland. Isn't that great? We don't need a crazy ass over the top.
That's kind of, first of all, that's who he is.
Well,
but also it's in those like that environment. Maybe the Ireland press conference. I'm with you.
There are moments, Ira, that you're allowed to dial it back.
People are paying to go.
Yeah, they want
rah, and hear how great they're going to be.
Tell stories. Besmirch other programs. Do that in that setting. It doesn't always have to be so damn intense. It's not that big a deal.
Jimbo's were awesome because he only speaks one way also, and it's just like he's talking to players. Yeah. Like he would be in this room full of boosters, and he'd be like talking to them like he's like getting ready for practice. It's like, yeah, I mean, these people aren't playing for you. Like, what are you talking about? They need to focus and they need to, the smallest detail and how and it's like, dude, relax.
No. And it's funny because we watch his interaction on a daily basis.
This is how he is.
Well, he's that way when he's going drill to drill. Football is a high intensity sport, an emotional game. You get it. Coaches yell at players yell back. All these things happen. That makes sense. But he's not always that way when he's talking. Like afterwards, he'll calm down and just talk to us like a normal. It's perfectly, he can do that. You're right. At a booster situation, you're going to elevate it a little bit. Some of the other times, there's times that you don't have to do it. It's my only thing. I think he'll get there.
But he is straight up shouting into this microphone. People are ducking their ears. But he's doing it like you always, like, and we're going to be the hardest working. And I mean, all the stuff he says, he believes, and it is genuine. It is just funny seeing you can imagine the demographics of a booster meeting at Florida State and everybody ducking because he's so intense. But I was on an elevator with fans leaving the stadium.
Yeah, they're pumped.
And the one woman who was older than me, I'm not going to guess an age, but she was older than me. But I mean, and I could play 29 right now. Probably.
I was going to say,
yeah, I could play 29. I'm older than that, but
I don't know. That's a white goatee and a bald head. I don't think you're playing 29, my man.
That's true.
He's going to have to take off the shirt.
Yeah. Hey, you want to see something?
No.
And she was like, I wanted to run through a wall when he was talking. I'm like, yeah. And the other guy was like, yeah, he could be a pastor too with that. It's like, so they're getting the message and they like it for the most part. And he did have some funny lines. But mainly it is always so proud of his players and his program. Awesome. I think it's because it's not like a sales job, but he just wants everybody to know how emphatic he feels about this program. And
I think there are moments where you can tell that it's genuine, and then there are moments where it's theatrical. That's all I'm saying. There are times where he's choosing. And so I completely get it, the intensity of coaches, and I get it, especially I get it when he's really proud of an individual or a segment group or the work that they put in the offseason. Like, that fires me up too. That's awesome. And you would want that. You want to celebrate that. That makes complete sense. Other times you're like, it's a banal issue. We don't need to be screaming here. There's no reason to be going nuts over this.
Everybody's not perfect in every setting. And I think we would choose Norvell's strengths and possible weaknesses over some other coaches we've had here lately that might have been better in that setting. And not so much with everything else.
Not so much with all the other things.
Yeah, the trade-off is
running the program.
No, I think, but my point is that he's only getting better all the time. That's true on and off the field. I think that'll get better too. I'm saying that's going to get better as well. That balance will be there.
He did say, he made a joke about having to race the defensive line now. That, last year he picked the biggest guy on the team to race, and now the defensive line is to a point where he has a hard time beating any of them, and that he has to go get treatment afterwards.
The athleticism of some of those guys running that are 310 pounds on display during that race at practice is absolutely mesmerizing.
Norvell's an athlete, man. He can run.
He played college wide receiver.
And they're keeping up with him.
Oh, some of them are beating them. Yes. Payton Fisk beat him the first day by quite a bit, and he's 310 pounds.
Patrick Payton sprints by him.
Well, and he should.
Yeah.
I mean, but it is interesting to watch that, and I keep waiting because last year, towards the end of the year, he ended up having a hamstring issue because he was sprinting out there. Man, that's the problem. It gets taken from us, guys.
Well, he literally has to stretch to get ready for it. I mean, it's because he's trying to run wide open.
He's running wide open, and the rules, unfortunately, are against us as we age in terms of running wide open. Corey found that out in your 40s.
Yeah,
running wide open is a recipe for a hamstring tear, complete.
Yeah, there's not even a warning. It's just, there goes your leg.
Oh, there he goes. Yeah. He's down. And I just don't want to see it. I'm worried about it. Because a couple times he's come up lame. You can tell. They're like, man, that's a hamstring ready to snap, or that's a calf that's just going to be pulled, and you're going to see him hopping all over the place.
If it happened to Dabo down the hill, would you feel bad at all?
No.
Like a
freaking idiot.
If he's screaming in pain.
Oh, no. Because he's not dying.
He's not going to die. He'll be fine. I'd laugh.
No, we would all laugh. Are you kidding me? If Dabo's sprinting at the top
speed, just the humanity of it. No. Empathy.
If he makes the choice to lead the team by sprinting out there in front of everybody, like, look at me, you can go to hell.
Hey, man, but imagine running full speed and falling down that hill. That would be an all-time classic. I mean, I would watch it.
One can only hope that we get this visual.
It
that
would
this
be
happens
on
in our
par with,
lifetime.
How else does it end? He's not going to stop on his own. He's not going to be like one season, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore.
No, it'll be him falling. You're right. And he's going to roll into the goalpost or he's going to take out the Tiger. And it's going to be mayhem. I'll watch it like it'll be on par with Randy Johnson and the Bird. It'll be a sports highlight forever. If Dabo Sweeney falls down running down the hill.
If he busts ass and then goes tumbling about and clutches his hamstring in agony, Corey, we are going to have to shotgun a beer or something.
We're going to have to do a live show. We're going to have to go
right
live
then
on
and
the
there.
air.
It would be
I feel
one
like
of the
that's
great
bad
moments.
karma, maybe.
No, stop it.
No. He's had a lot of good things that happen in his life. He can deal with falling down in front of millions of people.
And he's gotten away with saying absurdity after absurdity. No. That has to happen, actually.
Just to even out the universe.
Yeah,
you're right.
That has to happen. And one can only hope that it does.
This year when they play Florida State.
Oh, that's a special run down the hill there.
Yeah, man, he's going to be. That's going to be
an extra 5 minutes around the stadium on the bus.
That's going to be a top 10 matchup, perhaps. Maybe
he's will definitely be game day, right? That'll be college game day.
Could be
if Florida State takes care of business.
I think, yeah.
I mean, even if Florida State loses to LSU, they'll still be like a top 15 team, and Clemson will be top 5 or 10. I think they don't play. Do they play anybody good to start the year?
I don't think so. No.
Would you feel bad if he tears his hamstring, slips, and then like 2 or 3 other players fall, and then they get hurt?
No,
man. What's going on?
At what point does the humanity?
You're creating a comedy that we can all get behind.
And they chose to go play for him.
And they're running down a damn hill.
They're running down a hill. Bad things happen when you run full speed down a hill.
Running down a hill is not exactly the smartest choice. I mean,
there are
especially not for
repercussions.
him. But yeah, man, there are repercussions for running down that hill at full speed.
Especially when you're a good athlete and you can get going really fast. The people, because that's what would happen. He leads it.
Right.
He falls. The people behind, so the people
It's
right
like a pile
behind
up on a
Dabo,
highway.
but they try to pull up.
Ooh.
And that's going to create a chaos behind them, and they're just going to all fall down like dominoes because the players aren't going to want to jump over Dabo, but they can't stop when you're going full speed down the hill.
The videos you see when the kids run the wrong way through the sign that's being held out there for them, the little kids, and they run into each other, and some are
it
going.
Feels like it's going to show up on like one of those loops in like the restaurants when you're watching like people falling off skateboards and.
Yeah, it'll be just
that clip will
4
be
minutes of Clemson Tigers just piling over each other.
And the whole nation is, yes, this is what we've dreamt of. Headliner questions forthcoming. Hang in there. We'll get there in just a moment.
Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com, or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last a lifetime.
Wooden Glass has been taking care of families since 1945.
Experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best, like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Wooden Glass, and they provide precise installation.
Wooden Glass, Tallahassee's first family in glass. Online at widdenglass.com. Call 850-222-5781.
Lawson & Lawson Electrical Services has been Tallahassee's preferred residential electrician for over 30 years. Hi, this is Rowdy Lawson, and we've earned our reputation because we care about our customers, about quality, and about providing great service. We stand by every job we do and consider it a privilege to work on a family project like a new house, a custom addition, or a green renovation. For all your residential or service projects, call the good guys, Lawson & Lawson Electrical Services, 562-4111.
Did you know that when you order food delivery through third parties like Uber Eats and Bite Squad, local restaurants lose up to 30% of their own revenue, and you're actually sending your money to corporate bank accounts in California? Well, now you can truly support our locally owned restaurants by ordering directly from foodiestakeout.com. Choose from delicious options like El Jalisco, Smitty's Tap House, Hangar 38, Jerry's Cafe, and many more. With Foodies Takeout and Delivery, we can actually put our money where our mouth is. Order your next fresh meal today at foodiestakeout.com.
When people have a craving to explore new and traditional Asian cuisines, they head to P.F. Chang's, where scratch-made dishes come from the 2,000-year-old tradition of wok cooking. P.F. Chang's wanted to explore new possibilities for their website. They turned to AmericanEagle.com. AmericanEagle.com re-architected P.F. Chang's website, integrating multiple third-party systems to create a unified digital experience. The results? Improved page speed and performance, personalized content based on users' location, intuitive online ordering, an increase in organic search visibility, and a 40% increase in new users. For scratch-made Asian cuisine, visit your local P.F. Chang's or go to pfchangs.com for website design, development, digital marketing, and hosting that produce efficiency, revenue, and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. P.F. Chang's and AmericanEagle.com. Another example of the best businesses in the world, turning to the best in the business for websites. Go to AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW1. That's 877-WEB-NOW1.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee.
The latest betting odds and line movements from Vegas. This is your action update. Now here are your latest lines from our guys in the desert.
Tampa Bay Lightning on the road today at the Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina, the $1.35 home ice favorite. Tampa Bay plus 115, 6 flat the total at PNC Arena in Raleigh. Major League Baseball opening day Thursday. The Braves are a $2.25 favorite at the Nationals plus 190. Rays laying 225 at home against Detroit plus 175 at Tropicana Field. Florida and Florida State meet in baseball today in Jacksonville. The Gators, number 3 in the nation, winners of 4 straight, a $1.85 favorite against the Seminoles plus 150. Sign up now for your free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. For more sports betting news and information, go to vsin.com. Mike Son at Real Talk 93.3.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
Chase loves soccer. I'm Chase Greer, and I'm 12 years old. And his dream is to turn pro. That's why Chase and his family make sure he's always having fun and squeezing out his best with Go-Go Squeeze. Okay, buddy, let's break for a Go-Go Squeeze. Go-Go Squeeze fruit-on-the-go pouches are a nutritious snack made from 100% fruit with no sugar added. That's my boy! Because when you nurture your kids, you squeeze out the best in them. Squeeze out the best with Go-Go Squeeze. Not a low-calorie food. Products range from 11 to 13 grams of sugar and 60 to 70 calories per serving.
Hey everybody, the perfect fireplace makes your house a home. How's your fireplace looking? Not too well? Hearth and Patio can help you with that. Actually, Hearth and Patio can help you with anything fire. Give my friends a call at Hearth and Patio. If you need new fireplace upgrade, fireplace repair, you need custom outdoor kitchen, grills, or an amazing fireplace for your backyard. 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282. Or you can visit them online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com. Hearth Patio Tallahassee. They keep the home fires burning.
If you're hearing this right now and you or someone you know is active military, a veteran, police officer, firefighter, nurse, or a teacher, turn up the volume and listen to this. My friend Shannon with Legendary Home Loans has a Hometown Hero loan program designed to make a difference to those who make a difference. When it's time to buy a new home, he will waive all lender fees for all Hometown Heroes. That's a $1,600 value right out of the gate. Also, if you decide to use their preferred title company for their closing, you'll be saving another $600. That's $2,200 in discounts right off the top. That's like 20 tanks of gas in your car. And today, more than ever, it's important to save as much money as you can, wherever you can. So if you or someone you know is active military, veteran, police officer, firefighter, nurse, or a school teacher, and looking to buy a new home, choose Shannon Young, Legendary Home Loans, and ask about their Hometown Heroes program. Call 844-FSU-LOAN or just visit FSUHomeLoans.com. That's FSUHomeLoans.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 2270146.
Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com, or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last a lifetime.
It's time for Seminole Headlines, featuring Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron, managing editor Ira Schofel, and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols, and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
Hour number 2, headliner questions beginning as we speak. I'm Jeff, there's Ira, there's Corey, and we'd like to say hello to our friends at Birch Orthodontics. Dr. Birch and her crew, the best in the business, and as always, we're thankful for their sponsorship, their support of Seminole Headlines. Birch Orthodontics.
I like now that you're kind of now that you've gone through the Birch Orthodontics family and you've gone through the process and you can appreciate those straight teeth. Now you're like evaluating the teeth of the football players.
Well, now I know they're veneers. Did you know that? We figured this out?
No, I didn't hear this.
Yeah, it's a thing. Okay, because I did some investigating.
Really?
Yeah. Well, last week, Corey, it was the day that you had to leave, and I was.
Or do you know this for a fact? Whatever you're about to put out here into the.
I'm not Corey. He's got
sources.
Yeah,
he's not just flying off the hip.
So here's the thing. Ira and I, along with some of the beat there, we're waiting to talk, and with Joshua Farmer, right? And Farmer was sitting there, and as he was speaking, I was kind of to the left of Ira. We were listening to his comments, and he's always engaging and funny to listen to. I like that kid a lot.
Yeah.
And he's a good player. And so anyhow, I'm listening, but I couldn't help it. Corey, I was captivated by his teeth.
Oh.
Beautiful.
Okay,
perfect.
Josh.
Perfectly aligned.
Okay.
I mean, like everything
Beautifully
about
white.
these teeth, it would be a commercial. These are the teeth you would see in a commercial. So
I was thinking, I want to go, hey, you're Dr. Birch, aren't you? Like, that's why I wanted to ask him.
I mean, yeah,
That's a
surely
Birch,
you're going to
client.
Birch. Yeah. So he's talking, and the whole time he's talking, I'm just looking at his teeth. I'm not even hearing what he's saying.
Right.
Could have been gibberish. I'm just staring at his teeth. And it's like Selma Hayek's breasts. I'm just locked in.
Josh Farmer's teeth.
There we are.
They elicit the same emotion.
Yeah, locked in. I'm not hearing what Selma's saying. So anyhow, as I'm listening and watching, or not listening, but watching, I'm stunned. And anyhow, it ends up being afterwards, I thought, I got to say something. So Ira and I are walking together, just the two of us. Everybody is dispersed. The media is gone. I felt safe. It was
We're in a safe place.
We're in a safe space. Yeah. And I turned to Ira. I said, hey, man, did you see that kid's teeth? And he was like, my God. He looked at me. They're incredible. I was like, yes. So we shared this moment where we both noticed this man's teeth. Well, then later on, somebody posted a picture, and it wasn't just his teeth, Ira.
Yeah.
Did you post that?
Yeah, I texted it to you.
Okay, so it was another defensive lineman. Who was the other one?
His buddy, Daryl Jackson.
It was Daryl Jackson's teeth were also perfect. Too perfect. These teeth, there's no chance.
I don't know. I don't know that I like where this is going. This is a scandal.
So it's not a scandal, but apparently some of the defensive linemen are wearing veneers.
Huh. I want to get veneers.
I want to get veneers after seeing those veneers.
If
they're
that's
stunning.
the reaction it elicits,
they're blinding.
Is that reaction from Jeff Cameron? We should all be wearing veneers.
We should be. They're unreal. I don't know if they're good for you, bad for you, or what.
Came in one day with the shirt without the shirt on and the veneers, Jeff might
and a jet black goatee because just jet black.
No, I'd still laugh at him, but I'm saying
you'd laugh at me more.
I would.
Well, we don't know if Dr. Birch. We don't know if she does veneer work.
I don't know what that is. I don't even know what it is. I'm so out of the loop. I don't know if that's just a thing you can throw on, like for interviews, then take them off. I don't even know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Anyway, you don't need them. Dr. Birch will take care of you.
Yep.
BirchOrthodontics.com is the website. You can get a free consultation, or you can call them. You don't have to go to the web. Call them, stop by the office.
Yeah.
She's still waiting for Corey to stop by the office.
Yeah.
Never has.
Go in there and show him Joshua Farmer's teeth.
I
And
want
say,
these.
I want this. I want this. The Birch style.
And you can payment plans, all the greatest techniques, all the latest techniques, and you can look like Josh Farmer. I mean, whether or not he's endorsing this,
doesn't matter.
I just want today if you get a chance?
Well, I probably won't because he probably won't talk. But I guess I could ask him as he's walking off the field, hey, man, smile.
Can you smile real quick?
Yeah.
Clint writes, since my question on Facebook got overlooked last week, I'll ask here on Twitter. Dear Jeff, the ass man Cameron, how would you rate the posteriors of Fabian Lovett, Jeremiah Byers, and Julian Armella? So he's referencing that it's all about the ass. I've talked about this before, and I'm ahead of my time because later on Bill Belichick was quoted, and they did this whole thing about he just goes to workouts and the combine and looks at ass.
Right.
Because that'll tell him all he needs to know when you're looking at linemen especially.
Like Ira back in the day at La Vila.
Offensive and defensive
Very
linemen.
much like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Just
Club La Vila. Is that
That's
still
it.
open?
I assume. Why would that ever close?
That's right. That's all of us in college at a club, right? So you walk in and it's just who's got the ass for football coaches. And it's true. If you're looking at offensive and defensive linemen, you want to know who's got a solid base. And that's what Clint's referencing. Because there might be people going, what is going on here? I just wanted them to have a background here.
Anybody that's listening right now knows you like a good ass.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And it varies. Like it can mean different things. So I would just say, Fabian's got a lot of ass, plenty of ass there. Byers got a lot. Byers is a big man who carries it well and really can move for his size. It's remarkable. And then as far as Armella goes, he always had the right body. He's putting on good weight again. So
I don't think you want that big an ass for a tackle, right? Like you got to be able to move a little bit.
You got to be able to move.
He's athletic, man. He really looks the part.
More like I think more of a guard. I think Montre Holland back in the day.
Oh,
good.
Corey Simon had the greatest ass in the history of football. It still goes on for days.
He'll appreciate that.
Yeah, and so you couldn't move Corey Simon. What were we going to do with all that ass? You're dead.
Nothing.
You're dead. Nothing. Hence all the way into the league. So that's what you're looking for. You want to see. Listen, Corey, you've seen plenty of Georgia football. There's ass everywhere. For days.
It goes on. The whole defensive line looks just like one big one.
That's correct.
Yeah.
See Alabama. Everybody's got to have that championship level ass on their roster in the trenches.
And Florida State's getting there.
We're getting there. In the past, we had skinny model ass. It wasn't going to get it done. Now we've got some big ass.
This is going to be what Ben clips out. This is going to be the clip from headlines.
It's going to be
just Jeff going on and on.
Yeah. Also, Sir Mix-a-Lot is going to be the halftime entertainment.
Yeah. Well, didn't he play here a couple years ago?
Greg writes, how much of the baseball team's struggles lead back to 11 not recruiting towards the end of his career, combined with kids committing 5 years out? Takes longer to flip a baseball roster than a football or basketball one. Greg's concerned. There are a lot of reasons that the roster is as
cheeks.
It is. But
it is cheeks.
Yeah, it is. Good job, Ira. You got that cheeks in there.
I don't know that we need. Do we need to be spending time on who to blame?
I'm not going
to. We're past that, right?
I'm not going to.
How does it get him? How do you improve it?
I was show prepping the other day though, and I wrote down a number. I pulled it up when I saw this question. We've lost 8 pitchers Florida State has in the last 2 classes, and Dunn was the only one with significant innings. So we've lost a lot of guys, and they don't have arms. So I'm just going to start there. There's a bunch of guys that aren't here.
Yeah.
That were here that either didn't pan out for whatever reason, and blame who you want, and left, and then there were some who were playing well and they left too, and there you are.
And it's all exacerbated by whatever's going on with Wyatt Crowell's arm. I mean,
that doesn't help.
If he had pitched these last 2 weekends, the results are going to be different.
I mean, you'd be 14-10 instead of 12-12.
But that's better than losing 9 straight or whatever.
It is, but it's like what in the grand scheme of this season.
Great,
you are still what you are,
but it also
it affects everything else.
Exactly,
sure.
and it hurts you for the whole weekend.
Yes, it does,
because now you're going through 5 arms in a game,
and you're having to pitch guys you don't want to pitch before they're ready, and then also you take a chance on a guy who would have a lesser role, and if it doesn't work out for him and he folds early, and we've had that, then now you're taxing your bullpen. So
it certainly hasn't been great that your best arm has not pitched. Not only your best arm, one of the best arms in the United States hasn't pitched.
Well, and there doesn't seem to be a sense that that's going to happen anytime soon, guys. So
is that true? Ryachu?
I'm not looking here.
In the chat says that it's 20 of the last 24 to the Gators.
That Florida State has lost?
That sounds right.
I mean,
I know there was a streak.
Didn't they lose about 11 in a row?
That happened, and then they won. They've won.
They won a couple, and then
24-20 seems about right.
Oof.
Yeah, this program was surpassed by
Talk
Florida's
about a
program some time ago, and it's really brutal.
Yeah,
and it's And it's evident
and you don't even
when
have to play
just
him on.
Watch batting practice.
Yeah, well,
as you and I
got
did,
to.
and just look at those players. I'm tired of it. It's nonsense.
I got you.
It's ridiculous.
And you're not even having to play them on the weekend against their good starters, and you're still losing 4. You're still going 4-20 against them.
Eric, who you saw on the cruise, shouts you out and says, "Good job. Thanks for being nice to him."
You're welcome, Eric. I'm trying to be nice.
He mentioned something about spray tan. Ryan writes,
Hey,
thanks for all you guys.
Don't just dismiss Eric. I'm sure it was a clever comment.
Thanks
Thank you,
for
Eric.
all you guys provide every week. How do you think this program fares if Bob Stoops takes the job and is on that platform, especially given the toll the COVID year had? Is it reasonable to think the program is in worse shape today? If he was there?
If Bob Stoops had taken the job?
Yeah,
instead of Taggart? Or
instead of Norvell.
Norvell. Yeah, I think it's reasonable to assume it didn't work out.
Yeah. I mean, the big question there was always going to be, was the energy still there? You know,
By the way, he was never going to take that job, and that was a bunch of buffoonery.
But I think at the time there was a feeling that Florida State had to swing for the fences because you had just let Jimbo leave and call you cheap on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody believed that. Then you hire Willie Taggart.
And doesn't he look like a dumbass now?
Well, he does. He sure does.
Yeah.
We should do a separate show on that press conference. Have you watched the press conference from the other day?
With Petrino?
Oh, it's fantastic.
With him talking about Petrino. It's
unbelievable.
It's weird that they still haven't talked about
Corey,
who's going to
you understand. A counter is a counter.
Yeah, right.
A dig is a dig.
Yeah.
And the reality, you know what? That's the most true thing he said in that whole press conference. He believes that crap. Like, he believes that every offense is the same. He believes it.
I don't think so.
He thinks it's all about execution. He doesn't think it's about play calling.
Okay, I think both are true. I think he's being intellectually dishonest.
Well, when he talks, he's being intellectually
I'm saying
dishonest.
he knows damn well that there are differences in philosophy and offenses.
He does. No, I agree with you. But he thinks it's all about execution. Like, he thinks that that's what football is. Well, yeah, man, it was.
Yeah, and by the way, if that were the case, how does that still take, in your mind, if you think of every game Texas A&M played over the last 2 years, given the way he's recruited, right? So most of the time, they're bigger, stronger, faster?
Yes.
And they're not executing?
So whose fault is that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, whose fault was it after the NC State game when he said execution 64 times?
But what I'm wondering is, why do you think that's the proper way to deflect? It only looks worse on you again.
It's like in the scene in A Few Good Men where he's like, if they always follow orders because people die, then why were you worried about them not following orders when you told them to stay away from Santiago?
Right.
And Nicholson didn't have an answer for it.
There was no good answer.
He got him right there.
Because he ordered the code red.
You're dang right he did.
But back to the thing. There was a feeling at that time that you had to go get somebody bigger than you can't just take another chance on a younger coach. And I remember at the time saying, man, if it ends up being Mike Norvell, like, that's going to be a tough sell to this fan base.
Yeah, but people in the industry loved Mike, and they all thought.
And now it has worked out. But at the time, and then those first couple of years, man, it's like, you know, that's a. So there was a desire, especially when they sent out that thing, was it the Renaissance or whatever, the thing they sent out to the boosters asking for more money to bring back the program. And then you go hire a guy from Memphis, which again, it's worked out great, but there was a feeling that they needed to aim higher.
I was thinking, like, last night watching him speak to those people, shout at those people. They're very energetic and they're very happy. I was like, man, this really did turn out well for Florida State. This guy right now at this time,
he's in a good spot right now. But there's always going to be pressure. You got to go out and play well this year.
That's what he kept saying. He's like, it's Florida State, man. There's always going to be expectations. But
yeah, I'm glad that he hasn't run from those, and he understands that they're supposed to be good this year. He knows it.
Yeah,
it's good. It's good. You can't pussyfoot around here. You're always going to be expected to win a lot of games, and once you show that you can, they won 10 last year, and they blew a lot of teams out last year.
Yeah.
And they beat LSU on a big stage, and they've recruited pretty well, especially in the portal, and they've bolstered this lineup, and you've got a veteran quarterback that's a Heisman candidate. You can't shirk responsibility for this year. They got to go win 10-plus games.
Yeah, what he said, though, is like, I'm not just worried about expectations for this year, like this year coming up. Like, this is what we're always going to be about. This is what we're always going to want.
Yeah, that's
and it's just
idea.
the right message to say, and I just think after the way Jimbo left, Willie's tenure, this dude, the fact that there's proof in concept now because they've won games, his personality, the way he talks, I legitimately think people are excited that he's their head coach.
I think one of the
And they
best
should be.
things, I think what carries over, and you're right on this, but it's one of the things right off the bat that I liked, and we just hoped, I think we all hoped, for the good of our jobs and the program, that it would work, because I've said before, there are good coaches who get fired, was that I do think that this guy loves football and was raised in some ways. The male figures in his life were football coaches. And he's very relatable. The players see it. And when he talks about that, I always found that to be genuine. Some of the other stuff that I'm teasing him about with the preaching, that's whatever. But when he talks about football and growing up playing football and the most influential men in his life were football coaches and what it meant and why he's had that passion for I think that's true. And I think he wants to carry on that legacy. Well, players can pick up on that. And that will be something that is in place as long as he's here, because I don't think that ever goes away. Other stuff that coaches say, sometimes there's a talking points or they're whatever, they're meant for the media, but that is very genuine, and that's the connection. I think fans can see that just like players can.
Well, I was going to say, and I think that's why it's a big part of why they've been so successful with the portal, is because when those portal kids talk to current players,
they don't want any BS,
and they're told that no, this is who they are. This is what this coaching staff is. The stuff they're telling you, that is who they are. That's what been our experience as well. That carries a lot of weight. And those guys, those portal guys, this is their last shot, and they don't want to be BS.
Yeah, they've been around the block. They've seen it all. They've heard all the dumb stuff, and they don't have time. They got to go play and play well now, and they got to do. I just also like that always plays. That works. Like I was talking to Bryant McFadden today. Brian McFadden and I are going to be doing some stuff on Warchant TV, warchant.com, and podcast. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be come out on Thursday. Tomorrow you'll hear from B-Mac. He's going to join me on the Jeff Cameron Show. But I was talking to him about Mickey Andrews, and we were going through this. This is a talking point that makes sense. And he was saying that, Mickey couldn't coach today because of the things that he said, right? He was having fun with it. And I said to him, but it always worked, and I've never met a defensive player that didn't love him because you knew he cared about you. He's like, exactly.
Yeah.
You can coach hard and say incredibly insane things to people if they know it's born out of love and they're caring about you being better.
If people didn't see the stuff you said to Corey, or if they saw the things or heard the things you say to Corey after these shows, but he knows.
He knows,
and I know
I'm just making him better.
It comes from a good place. It comes from a good place. I don't know why you have to kick me, but I'm working my way through that.
Sometimes it gets uncomfortable for the rest of us.
Sure.
Yeah.
When he starts karate kicking me right in the stomach.
Well, that's just after we've gone over something 3 or 4 times. At some point, we got to go take another level. But so anyhow, that's Sean writes. I have my finger on the panic button with our baseball team. I don't want to push it. I believe in this team, but when should I push it?
Man, you
right
should
now. You should
you should have pushed it 5 days ago.
Sean, Corey's right. Jump on top of the button over and over again.
Not about the program
until you break the button.
But the 2023 Florida State baseball team, yes, you should be mashing the panic button. I don't even think that you should be panicked anymore. Just realize,
they're not good.
It's not a good baseball team.
I feel really bad for Link. The one thing I would say is, and I think people are starting to make this comparison and feeling like it might be like Norvell's first season of football, where it's like, man, there's only so much you can do. You've got a lot of, you inherited a really tough situation. And maybe because people have just lived through that with football and saw it come to the other side, maybe they'll have some grace and understand
that. You guys know Taylor Swift is doing 3 stadium shows in Tampa?
And so Stephanie and her daughter are going the first night?
Thursday night, yeah.
But hey, hold on. Before you go down
wife
here,
and kids are going the second night.
I love the humor. That's fine. I think it's important, something you said there, though, and I want to make sure we get this out there because I don't want to foster it, and it'll piss me off because fans can be silly. We're not saying the program's in trouble. We're saying they suck this year, guys.
Yes.
Yeah. Link and his staff have already proven they can coach.
At this level.
Yeah. They've already proven it. So there's no evidence that he's not the guy or it's not going to work. He's proven it. He won at lesser places and big. He took Notre Dame to the College World Series. And if you guys don't know, that Notre Dame program is a nightmare in comparison to Florida State. The facilities suck. Nobody goes to the games. They don't care. Historically, they've been irrelevant. So he's proven he can coach. That's not it. But they stink this year, and you can be very concerned about how this is going to end. I actually do, having said all that, think they're going to be better at season's end than they are now.
Well, how could they be worse?
Well,
unless they just played with 7 guys.
Jeff's got them going to the postseason.
I think they'll get into the postseason.
Yikes. All right.
Just
Just by a smidge. Okay.
By the skin of the veneers.
Yeah, that's it. There, well done, sir. On that note, Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment. Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take-home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat-screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
This is Ken Wondergem, owner of Gem Mazda of Tallahassee, serving North Florida and South Georgia for over 20 years. And I'm happy to announce that things are finally back to normal at Gem Mazda. Our lot is loaded with brand new Mazdas for the first time in 2 years. So if you've been waiting for the price and selection of new cars to return to normal, the wait is over at Gem Mazda, where we've always provided our customers with the highest quality of service and care. You know Mazda's reputation for efficient, dependable, and affordable vehicles, but you simply must experience the luxurious new lineup of 2023 Mazdas in stock now at Gem Mazda of Tallahassee. Get adventurous and connect with nature in a brand new 23 Mazda CX-50 with all-wheel drive. But hurry in while the value of your trade is still high. At Gem Mazda, we take our slogan seriously. No games, no gimmicks, just a gem of a deal. Gem Mazda of Tallahassee, Capitol Circle Northwest, just up from West Tennessee Street, and always open at gemmazda.com.
Motorcycle accident? Call Basic Brooks Law Offices, 777-7777.
My man, Eddie.
Jeff, what's happening, dude?
Bears eating people all over the place. I read another article today. It's the third one in the last month of somebody getting mauled to death by a bear.
Man, you know, bears have their own space. You got to let them have that.
You do. You got to stay clear of bears, is what you're saying?
Yes.
I got a question for you. Here you go. If you had to be mauled to death, eaten alive by any animal in the world, which would you choose to eat you alive?
Ooh, I think maybe I'd want, I don't know, longevity time, a mouse.
Just a slow burn.
Slow little burn.
This thing just finished the pinky. It's been a month.
I could go to work. I could still do my thing. I could probably live 30 years.
I thought you were going to say great white because it'd be quick, or a grizzly. We went with mouse.
Yeah, mouse.
Okay.
You know?
Mouse it is. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Hi, this is Justin Colvin, founder of the Medicare Help Desk. I routinely speak to seniors who are overwhelmed by the multitude of coverage options available to them. That's why I created the Medicare Help Desk radio show. Tune in every Sunday at 11:30 a.m. where I provide clear answers to all your questions about Medicare.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Corey, you going to stop and get some food on the way over to practice? Your mic's not on. I got to let you answer. Go ahead.
I think so. Why?
Yeah. I just thought
what a weird question.
I'm starving.
Oh, okay. All right.
As we were coming out of break, it hit me how hungry I am. And I heard the Register Sausage commercial, and I thought, man.
That sounds good right
I would
now,
hit the
doesn't
spot right now.
Yeah.
Big old Register Sausage, baby. Any questions in the chat that I've ignored because I largely ignore the chat while conducting the show?
Not so much.
All right. I just want to make sure.
There's a little debate about whether or not Jimbo is valuable or not. Like Jimbo's worth to the Florida State program. Not worth, But like, should he be revered or not? That kind of thing.
Well, I don't know about revered, but he did win a national championship in 29 straight.
The battle for all time. We'll always.
I think in
have unresolved
maybe
issues.
2040, you put up a statue of him.
No statues. I think
129 in a row.
Reasonable.
That
Florida
should be honored somewhere in the stadium. By the way, the 29 game winning streak.
Reasonable Florida fans have this debate about Urban Meyer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
My stepdad's a Bull Gator. He hates Urban Meyer. He thinks he's an ass clown and an embarrassment. Won 2 national titles.
I think their vitriol is more towards Urban than even Florida State towards Jimbo.
It might be.
I think so.
More
Because
universal.
He left for a year. Also, as much as we, maybe, degrade Jimbo a little bit, he was more likable than Urban Meyer.
Right.
And so you had to put up with the devil. You made the deal with the devil. He left for a year for heart issues and then goes win national championship with Ohio State. That probably still rubs.
You don't think the heart issues were real?
I don't. I mean, if they are, congrats to him for finding that new bill of health.
It's just like he wanted to spend more time with his family.
Yeah.
You don't think that was sincere?
He wanted to spend more time with them in Columbus.
Yeah.
And the women of Columbus.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she was a fan. She just wanted an autograph.
Yeah.
He was in town visiting his grandchildren.
Yeah, a little handsy there, Urban.
Over under 2.5 defensive touchdowns this year. That from Burke. We only had 5 total in the last 5 years. Did you know that? Sweet Jesus.
Like 7 turnovers in all last year. Right?
7 interceptions.
7 interceptions.
I would say under then. Just going by that simple math, I'm going to say under.
They're going to be better though.
They're
going to create. They can create more confusion because of the amount of looks that they can provide up front that they haven't had the depth to do.
You know what bothers me about they should have had another one last year on that bad snap Miami had at the goal line after the Jamie Robinson play. Why is the offensive lineman chasing Jared Verse down the field 30 yards later? Like that bothered me. Like that should have been a walk-in touchdown for Jared Verse, a 90-yarder.
Why is he getting caught?
Well, he didn't get caught. He had to pick up the ball.
Yeah.
And then by the time he picked up the ball, and I think Verse actually got hurt on that play. The dude slammed him pretty good into the ground. But it's like, man, he should have just given up. That's what they do down there when they're behind. I can't believe that lineman chased them down.
In 2013, we had 8 defensive scores by way of comparison. TCU had 2 pick sixes against Michigan alone.
Yeah.
8's a lot.
I think 8 is a ton, and they had 2 in like back-to-back plays against Wake that game. Remember that? Like Ramsey had 1 and Nate Andrews had 1.
You're a DC playing against FSU. This is from Timmy.
Man, we thought Nate Andrews was going to be the bomb.
Man, he was something.
He got hurt though. Who are you double teaming, Bell or Wilson?
Wilson. As much as you can, an outside receiver.
Yeah.
But that's the good news. That's good news for everybody else.
Nate writes, instead of Taylor Swift talk, can we get an update on Ira's crocheting and quilting adventures? It's not Ira. Ira's wife, Kim, is a master crocheter and quilter, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that one day I brought it to everybody's attention because I couldn't help it. He was doing an interview, and in that interview, all I could see were balls of yarn. And I thought, what are we doing here? What is happening?
They're skeins of yarn.
Is that what they're called?
Skeins.
I would not know that. But
is that what they're called? Skeins?
Ira certainly knows.
They're just making up words.
Yeah.
There's no way that's real.
And I would think Kim is still awesome at it.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
We love it.
Master.
Do you have any Afghans? Does she make Does she make Afghans?
Doesn't make Afghans. But blankets, sweaters, cardigans, gloves, you want it, you name it. But we can't ever sell any of it. Because my thing is
it's just a hobby.
Like, hey, how about we sell some of it? You like making it. It costs us a lot of money to purchase this yarn. Maybe we could sell some of it.
Are people not buying the blankets? They're not down with it?
No, she just
she
gives them to people, or
yeah, it's a kind-hearted thing to do.
Our dog has one.
Lots of people need blankets.
I mean, yeah, that's right. Why don't you donate? Why don't she should donate them?
I think she has donated them. My point is we could sell them.
Right.
Let's make money. You like doing this anyway. Why? Yeah. If I could sell articles, like just on, if my spare time, I could write something and sell it, I damn sure would.
I know you would, buddy.
I can't get Kim to sell any of her stuff.
Well, I'll commission something then. I would like a garnet and gold Afghan.
Okay.
I'd like a blanket.
All right.
With a picture of me.
I don't think she's going to think this is a great idea.
Let's do it. I'll pay. What's the going rate for that? $1,000. I'll give $1,000 for that.
R. Wilmer writes, hello, Ira, Corey, and Jeff. What is each of your thoughts on how the tight end room has progressed and helped their offense? I'm over the moon about it because I think that Kyle Morlock is going to play a lot.
Yeah, he's been impressive.
He's been really good. He's bigger than I thought he was going to be. And
fluid too.
He's going to be good. And we already know Jaheem Bell is versatile and going to be good. And then I like Biscuit. So that room has done a 180, just like the offensive line room. That room sucked to high heaven forever. And now it doesn't.
I just like my favorite part of the spring probably is listening to Norvell and Alex Atkins discuss why it's better without trying to
trying to disparage the other guys. Yeah. That was funny. We both laughed when he caught himself. He's like, well, with that room now, we have the ability. Not that we didn't have the ability. Like, you can say it. That you didn't have the ability. They were terrible. Just go ahead, say it. The room is really, really improved, and it's going to be exciting in the ways that it affects the offense, because you really are in trouble if you're a defense against this offense. This offense is going to be one of the best 10 offenses in the country, period.
And Jaheem is just a different, that's just not normal what he does at that size, at that position. He's going to be, that's as big as getting almost any other receiver in the country. What he's going to mean to this offense.
He and Kyle.
They're both going to be. We don't know, I guess, what their blocking is like, but they're in the passing game.
They're coming along, man. I watched them a little bit. They can block. They're not afraid to block. It's not like they're going to be liabilities on them.
Right.
Miss Webb Silver Chief writes, in the spring of hurt feelings, which is what I called it, what do you guys see the coaching staff doing in particular to keep our culture solid and positive? That's a good question.
Yeah, I think it's, if your culture is good, which I think it is, we all think it is. I think it's all around them. It's like they're getting it from all over. That's where I think like a situation with like Trayshawn Ward deciding to leave, Derrick McLendon deciding to leave, like nobody's mad or anything. Like everybody's pulling in the same direction. So I think I don't think they have to be as intentional about it anymore as maybe you did 2 years ago.
Yeah. It will get interesting, though. I think there's no way to avoid some hiccups along the way as you have to try to get some guys to take it on down the road and you recruit over guys. It's going to happen eventually, but you're right. They're in a really good place right now. Once you sustain winning and the competition continues to elevate, and, I just think that at some point you will have probably some hurt feelings.
But think of when basketball was good, Leonard was able to handle that incredibly well.
Yeah.
Right. Those guys, even
those
guys
were the days, weren't they?
Woo.
Wasn't that long ago.
My God. But you're right. They did. They surely did.
That should give Florida State fans hope, right? Like Miami was terrible a few years ago. Like Florida State would beat them by 30 points. And now they're 2 wins away from a national championship. So it could happen here too, everyone.
We've got, what's the likelihood that FSU's next QB1 is not currently on the roster? Well, that's
what percentage chance would you put that at? I'm going to say
not on the roster.
It's not on the roster right now.
So we're thinking maybe it's Cromanhawk or a transfer.
Or a transfer. It's definitely not. You wouldn't think it'd be a true freshman. I would say 25%.
That's interesting.
Fair.
That's not terrible, Corey. That's pretty good. Usually your hyperbole gets the best of you, but that's pretty solid.
I dialed it down a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't say 90%. I believe in those guys. Going to need all of them to take a step, though, because if they don't, it's not like it's going to be really hard to sell this offense to a really good quarterback that's out there in the portal. Somebody that's better than who you have on your roster. They will come running.
It's not absurd to think about. You're right. It's not. I do. That's an interesting, delicate matter as well.
How many? And you guys watch more college football outside of Florida State than I do. Like, how common is it for a quarterback, to go to a new system? This isn't, my guy following Lincoln Riley to USC,
right?
To go to a whole new system and in 1 year be really good, like Russell Wilson did it back in the day.
Did it? Went to Wisconsin, yes. From NC State.
So like, what do we think the chances are that even if he gets somebody who's great, that they would be better in year one in this system, just having a spring to get ready, versus Tate, who's been in the system 3
It
or 4
certainly
years?
Depends on the level of talent. Obviously, if it's a guy that played in a similar system, Ira, and he's really multidimensional, because Jordan is, right, then probably could figure it out pretty quickly. That's just going to be a fascinating that's a great question, and that's a tough percentage to come up with, because it's not just Tate. Let's just say they decide Tate can't do it, and they don't want him to be the guy. But what if Duffy's not ready?
Right.
And you're not ready to start Brock. So then you would go outside, and one of those guys would leave. They would, because you got another quarterback coming in. Somebody would be like, well, peace. Obviously Tate would leave if he didn't.
If you brought a portal guy in, I think 2 guys would leave.
Yeah, there's a real good chance of that.
Yeah, man, that's why this spring, and specifically this August, is going to be really important. I think that will tell us what they think of. I mean, that's going to be a real, because once the season starts, it's not like you work your way up the depth chart much at quarterback, right? Once the season starts, you're just
you're not getting enough
preparing
reps
week to week. You're getting your normal reps. Right now in August is when the jockeying starts, and it'll be interesting to see where we won't know it, they won't tell us, but where they end up on the depth chart when LSU comes around.
Seminole Wagers writes, do you think we'll see Bell used in goal line situations like we did Lundy? I don't know that you have to, because you have Benson and you've got an offensive line now where you can go unbalanced and you can go big and you can get a push. I don't know that you need to. He did some of that at South Carolina, obviously. But
I have not seen this, and even if I had, I wouldn't be allowed to say it. But, I mean, what if you put him in the Wildcat when you got down the 2-yard line? You had Bell and Benson back there.
But I don't think you have to get cute like that. I mean, that's not
I
real
don't know
cute.
that's
Not real
a
cute
good
anymore.
short yardage for them.
I'm just saying, you should be able to get a push this year. You could almost just run traditional and just go heavy.
Evan asked in the chat, how many years does Morlock have? And it's actually 2. He's a redshirt junior. And we actually have several responses to my question about a quarterback having success in first year in a new system. Jalen Hurts is a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Justin,
well, everybody has success in Lincoln Riley's system.
Justin Fields.
Yeah.
And
Justin Fields, just not quite the player Jake Fromm was.
Was Baker Mayfield, was that as soon as he got there day one?
At Oklahoma when he left Texas Tech?
Yeah. Was it right?
It
I
was
couldn't remember.
not
I didn't
right
know
away, but it was pretty soon. I mean, Lincoln's done some things with quarterbacks.
Yeah, you almost can't even use Oklahoma. They don't count.
Right.
They just
They're
churn out
included.
Heisman winners.
There's a common thread there.
Yeah. Hey, guys, thanks to Ira for answering my question. This is from KD regarding taking my girls to a softball game. When should we start to hear news related to the basketball roster? Any day now, brother.
Any hour, any minute.
Day now. Been waiting around here every hour.
I'm
Getting a
also
little more
ready,
frustrated.
not just to see who's in the portal from Florida State, who's coming on down to Tallahassee from other parts.
Well, I'm kind of more interested in that.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
They're real quick on that topic. So they're in the mix. There's been reports of them in the mix, probably, I don't know, 6-7 different transfers out there. The Florida State's one of the schools that's recruiting them. We haven't heard anything about anything official, in terms of visits yet, or how well they're doing there, but they are active, and we know they're trying to get about 4 players is what they're trying to do. And you would assume 4 are going to have to leave.
Yes.
But as I've reminded people panicking on our message boards, those people don't have to leave before you go find 4 new players. I mean, Florida State's over right now in football. You can sign those guys or get those guys commit because they're not signing anything anyway.
Yeah.
They're going to be enrolling in the summer. So, there's time on the exits that can happen as we go, but
there are medical hardships that happen all the time.
We'll see.
The kid could be like, well, I'm not hurt. You're like, well, look over there real quick. And then you do something to his leg.
We need several don't let the door hit you in the ass moments.
Yeah, I think they actually need 5 to leave because they have 1 freshman coming in. So I think you're going to be looking for about 5 guys to move on.
The freshman's supposed to be pretty good, right?
Yeah, he is.
Did Corey get the show a new spray tan sponsor yet?
No, but I should. That'll be something we do in the summer during the down days in June and July. I'll go darker and darker each week.
Like Tan Mom?
Yes, until I'm just orange.
Yeah. Coach
it's
Norvell,
all gone, by the way.
Is it?
They don't last for a very long time. It's all except on my feet. I got a couple of little splotches on my feet that won't go away.
Coach Norvell approaches the Seminole Headlines crew and offers the chance to coach the second half of the spring showcase. Which role do you each play, and what would you want to put through a test drive?
Well, I'm the special teams coordinator, I guess.
You like that?
Yeah. We're not doing it.
You can have it.
Yeah.
You can have it, buddy.
They're practiced. They've done a lot of reps.
What would I want to put through the test drive? It doesn't, I mean, golly, I want to see more of Winston Wright, just because I'm excited about what he could be. I'd probably call things that were Winston Wright centric. I want to see him make plays in a competitive setting.
I'm going over to Jarrett. I'm going to be offensive coordinator.
Okay.
And I'm going to have a little conversation with Jarrett Verse and recruit him to the offensive side of the ball.
Let him be a tight end.
See if maybe do a little something in the goal line. Maybe, a little tight end, a little waggle, maybe something. We can figure out a way to get Jarrett Verse. I think he would like that. I think
he would probably have a blast.
I think he would have a good
and he would
time.
tell you about it afterwards. Yeah, there's no doubt. I would also run. I'd run several times right at Patrick Payton. because I want to see what
Yeah.
Let's see if
Challenge him a little
we're
bit.
really getting to where we think we are here.
And he's
Let's
got
be a
5
man.
months.
I got big offensive line. I got a big back.
Yeah.
I can lead with somebody if I want, like Bell. I'm gonna run right at you. See what you got.
I would just throw go routes to Vandy.
Man, you and Jeff Bowden.
Vandy Jacobs.
I'm going with the jumbo package. I'm getting Farmer. I'm going to get 2 or 3 defensive linemen in the backfield
to help you out
with Bell behind them. And then we're gonna do the play action and throw to Jared Verse. We have 4 defensive linemen on the field.
It's a fun play.
I don't think Norvell's going to let you do all that kind of stuff.
I mean,
I think he's just like, hey man, just call a runner.
It's a hypothetical.
He came to us and asked us.
Yeah, it's a hypothetical. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Scattered thunderstorms likely this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 82. Westerly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Scattered thunderstorms again tonight. Lows dip down to about 53. Cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 73. Tomorrow, mainly cloudy skies expected. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 79.
Discover the taste of Peru at Café de Martín and El Bar, a one-of-a-kind culinary and cocktail concept created by classically trained chef Martín Araujo. Con amor y pasión, with love and passion, Café de Martín is a fine Peruvian dining experience in an approachable, comfortable, cultural-rich space built for creating memories to last a lifetime. Enjoy happy hour daily with a full bar, handcrafted cocktails, beers on draft and bottle, paired with a selection of Peruvian tapas like crispy fried yuca with house-made huancaína sauce, carefully selected charcuterie boards, a selection of fresh ceviches, and so much more. It's Café de Martín and El Bar. Escape to Peru, a country of great culture, beauty, and food right here in the capital city. Café de Martín and El Bar on Capitol Circle Northeast in the Esposito Shopping Center. Open daily for lunch, happy hour, and dinner. Online at cafedemartin.com.
Hi, this is Jamie McClendon from Trek Financial in Tallahassee. Managing downside risk in your portfolio is one of the biggest challenges that you'll face in retirement. Trillions of dollars in stimulus from the Federal Reserve and D.C. politicians, combined with zero interest rates, have propped up financial markets since the financial crisis ended in 2009. The Fed recently ended quantitative easing and has started to raise interest rates at a time when the global economy was already slowing. Have you considered what another 50% correction in the stock market would do to your retirement plan? If you're concerned about where this all might be headed and would like to find out about the potential benefits of an active risk management strategy for your portfolio, give me a call at 850-900-5200 and schedule a time for a review of your portfolio from an active risk management perspective.
Make Jamie your first call for a second opinion. Investment advisory services are offered through Trek Financial, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Let's keep these questions rolling. I'll get to more of them here momentarily. Anything in the chat, Ira, while I flip back over?
No, but I was going to say, just kind of following up on that quarterback thing. Yeah, there are a few examples of transfers who come in and done well, but man, there's a whole lot of them that have transferred and not been good at all. Like there's a lot of transfers that have gone to schools that everybody thought, like this Slovis, whatever kid from that went to Pitt, like, and he's transferred again. And like, there's a lot of examples of guys that people assume it's challenging. I mean,
it's the dude at Georgia who's been to every team in the country.
The guy from USC that is escaping me right now. I can't
JT Daniels.
Yeah, JT Daniels.
Don't
been
forget
for 100 teams.
You had Hornswoggle here for a year with James Blackman. You had Everett Golson.
Golson
some guys now. You've had some guys. You've had a good run of transfer quarterbacks.
I actually think anybody that they would tab to bring in here in that specific scenario would almost be can't miss.
Yeah,
Also, I think Norvell and the way he runs his offense and Atkins and the staff would tailor things around whatever that guy's good at,
Doris, it's one
as
of his
opposed to
strengths.
opposed to this is my offense. And
what are you could be alluding
I don't
to?
know.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah.
Come on, guys.
No, I think you're 100% correct. Boner wants to know, does Dustin Hill exist? Apparently, yes.
He does. I think he does.
I've
not
never
seen
seen
him in person?
I've never seen him.
Yeah.
Only on Instagram when he committed, but could be coming soon. Maybe we've all been catfished by Dustin Hill.
Hey, it could be. It could be a thing.
Boner's second question was, does FSU do drills to help tackle better? You know, I got to tell you, Boner.
I'd like the fact that you just want to say his name as many times as possible and as loudly as possible.
One of the problems that we have in big-time college football these days, Boner, is that nobody tackles anybody like they used to. I'm going to be the old man and tell you the way things were back in my day. All we did was tackle. And it's true that things aren't always better in the olden days. And I'm not sure they were better, but everybody could tackle because that's what they did every damn day. We tackled in full pads all the time.
And didn't drink water.
Oh, no. And it was ridiculous. People died, Corey.
Yeah, didn't drink water. Just ate salt.
What I'm saying is you had to tackle because that's all anybody knew how to do. We did Oklahoma drills all damn day. I got so tired of trying to tackle William Floyd's big ass. I was about cried every day. It was awful. But that's and when I first started covering Florida State, they tackled all the time live. But they don't anymore. They don't. And so you do see worse tackling. Now, one of the things that changes is that if you're good enough to get to the NFL, you know how to tackle. And they're not taking guys that can't. But you do see there's so many teams in college football. You just see it. It's a problem. It is. So the answer is kind of no.
Well, no, they don't. They don't practice tackling you to the ground. They thud.
Well, that's the tackle,
They hit.
Corey.
Yes,
That's
correct.
called tackling.
They practice hitting. They practice, technique, but they're not taking anybody to the ground. They won't do that. The first person they take to the ground will probably be Jaden Daniels. Hopefully.
100-yard dash, U3.
Oh, my God.
We know who's not winning.
Oh,
I
my
think Corey's
God.
winning.
I don't know. Jeff's obviously
close.
much more athletic than I am, but I
The
have
longer
been.
stride, you were quick. You're younger than me. You might have it because I don't know that I could do a 100-yard sprint without pulling a hamstring.
I don't. Even
I mean that,
I don't
sincerely.
think I would try. I don't think I would.
I'm
try.
not getting hurt just trying to win a race for this dude.
I feel like I've finally matured to the point that I don't need to do that stuff anymore.
You know what would have happened 10 years ago? 10 years ago.
We'd be doing it in the parking lot.
We'd be racing today.
No, because I wouldn't trust that I could beat you. In fact, I know I couldn't.
Are you a
beat
front
you.
runner?
Yeah, exactly right. I'm not going to race you if I think I'm going to lose, and I know I would lose. You're a college athlete.
Yeah, you would have lost to me back in the day, but you would probably beat me now. I don't know. I mean, you've lost all that weight, but I don't think either one of us would make it without getting hurt.
No, exactly right. In
That's all
fact,
I'm
my
saying.
heel right now, I can't run anyway.
I went to Orange Theory today and got after it, buddy.
I
was
go to
looking all around for you.
I do.
Where's
what
Mr. Orange Theory? Where is he?
I do. When I go to Orange Theory, Ira, now I get to power walk like a 90-year-old up a hill.
Like Chris Paul in the commercial?
Like crazy. Exactly what I'm doing.
That's a good look.
It is a really good look. You look really cool and athletic when you're power walking. But that's what I have to do because of my heel. But yeah, I think because I had a buddy of mine.
It's not your Achilles, right?
That was playing. I don't think it's my Achilles.
Good.
But he was playing adult soccer. He just got back from an Achilles tear last year.
Oh, no.
And then he just tore his ACL.
Yeah,
and I'm like, buddy, you maybe
At
stop
some
playing
point,
soccer.
you got to call it a day.
Yeah.
The second time I broke my damn arm, I did it playing stupid city
softball.
league softball on a diving catch because I didn't want the guy to score from second. Now it's a hell of a play, and I held him at second, but I also broke my wrist. And I remember Matt Millar looking at me like, "Are you insane?" And I got to the doctor, and he said, "What are you doing? How old are you? Why are you diving for balls? You're going to break everything in your body."
You really shouldn't. It's
At
okay
some
to
point.
play adult softball.
Yeah,
just don't play it like
well,
that.
I'm competitive, Corey.
Yeah,
You're not taking a base on me. You're not taking a base on me.
Can't turn that faucet off.
So, Ira, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say one of the guys I play racquetball with who is, I think he's finally hung it up.
You called it a day,
And
huh?
he had both shoulders replaced.
Oh.
I think a knee replaced.
Yeah, man.
Diving into walls.
And dude, like as soon as he was rehabbing, it was like back there playing again.
For what? I mean, you just can't turn that. I guess
Pride,
you just can't turn
baby.
that switch off.
I can't let Ira have that point. I can get to that ball.
You
I
wouldn't
may
beat-
hurt myself. But,
Ken, you weren't beating me anyway, Ken.
and
No,
see,
Ken's listening. I'm
it's
just
right.
I'm
It's
playing around.
This is why.
I'm joking.
Corey, this is why.
Ken, I love you.
But you weren't beating him. What up, fellas? Writes Brian. With March Madness winding down, how about we take a trip down memory lane to the good old days with Seminole basketball? What's your favorite Seminole basketball March Madness moment? Mine would be Savoy lighting up Xavier, knocking them out in 2018. That was a good moment.
Yeah, I was there. I was in the house for that. It was so unexpected because they were down like 14
Yeah, they
in
were
the
trailing
second
most
half
of the
of that
game.
game. And that Xavier team was good. They had that white kid that was really annoying but really good.
Yeah.
What was his name? JP something.
Yeah, but they can suck it because they
McCure?
lost.
Yeah, they lost.
They lost.
Chris
That's
Mack
right.
lost to Leonard Hamilton quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was because Xavier was the 1 seed. It was right after Cincinnati had blown that huge lead in Nevada.
Yep.
With the guy that's now at Arkansas, and they jumped on our table and celebrated right before the Florida State Xavier game. And I just thought the Schadenfreude of all, because Xavier and Cincinnati are obviously huge rivals, and all those Xavier fans were so excited that Cincinnati had blown a game like that. And then they had a 14-point lead in the exact
My
same thing.
kids were sleeping. We were in a hotel room on the beach, and the kids were sleeping in the other bed. And my wife doesn't care anything about basketball, but she cares about FSU because she's a 4-state grad. So she was kind of like, what's going on? She was tired. We've been on the water all day long. And so she's falling asleep. My kids are asleep, and I'm locked in. And I go downstairs to the bar and grab some beers to come up because it's intense. And I'm getting nervous, and I care. And now the fan in me's coming out. And when the bombs start getting dropped by Savoy, I couldn't help it. I had to wake everybody up. I'm like, we're going to win this, bitch.
Yeah.
We're going to win this.
Man, and it just like, kind of Trent Forrest kind of took over there in like the last 5 minutes. And it was like, man, you were like, okay, I was just cool that they weren't going to get blown out. Like, and they made it a game. And then all of a sudden, you're like, well, they got a chance here. And now they got the lead with a minute to go after Savoy hit that three. That was
incredible.
That was a really cool moment. And I would say that, or, man, I don't know. The Notre Dame game a long time ago when they beat them in Chicago.
And they were the 2 seed or whatever.
That was good.
That was, and we stomped on somebody's chest just like who was it who did that? It was
Hansborough's brother was there.
Well, he was the one who got stomped on. Yeah, it was awesome. Who's the tall, skinny kid for us that did it? It wasn't.
I don't know. Kreft? No, Kreft wasn't there back then.
No. Skinny.
A lobby?
I don't think it was him. I got to go back and look at that roster.
Jarquez?
R.A. Andrews. Oh, I pulled a Corey. I got the whole name out there.
There you go. Nice.
Says that Corey should show up Monday at Hauser to ask Link a program-defining question.
That's true.
Right.
He also said we need a stare down from you and Link. Like, you need to give Link the stare. Like, hey, man, this ain't it.
How are you
telling
going to convince
recruits?
any of these kids to come play it with you? How are we doing this, Link?
What are you telling pitchers?
Yeah, what are you telling pitchers other than, hey, you got a lot of playing time here if you come? A lot of innings available.
I dare you to do it.
Well, I
think that's next year,
near the end of the year. Yeah, that's right. That's not a first year question.
You can't do it the first year. I think that's fair. We had a lot of compliments, a lot of people saying that they love the show, and I didn't want to ignore all of that, but we got 1 minute left in the show. Vishal writes, hi, guys, love the show. Question for you. Who had a greater impact to the coach? Ron Simmons for Bobby Bowden or Jermaine Johnson for Mike Norvell? Wow.
It's a good question, man.
It's a good question.
Vishal bringing it, as always.
I'm going to say Ron Simmons. Good job, Vishal.
I feel like,
because it was also a longer impact.
But isn't that something? Yeah, he was here for 4 years and was awesome for 4 years. But I think that's something maybe we talk about in 10 years. Like, we'll know more about Jermaine Johnson's
was
impact.
1 year. It did make an impact. Ron Simmons is
But what he did for the program and, like, other people
It's a
coming.
big deal.
It
No,
was
there's no
a
question.
really big deal.
I've said it, but
It's just hard to.
it's not Ron Simmons.
hard to
big.
match.
Yeah, Ron Simmons was something else. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of who people say I look like now, physically. Ron Simmons. I mean, do y'all see it at all?
No, not at all.
Okay,
Not at all.
well, whatever.
For Ira Chaffel and Ron Simmons-esque Corey Clark, I'm Jeff Cameron. Thanks for listening, everybody. Be well, and we'll talk to you next time. Good job, Director Matthew. Always. Peace.